Testing, 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 testing. Marcus Speaks. What's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Marcus Speaks Live. I'm your host, Marcus. Here we talk about, on this podcast, we talk about all kinds of trending topics and then some. All right, so if you could, like this video, share this video, and share my channel, Marcus Speaks. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I want you guys to know that whoever subscribed last night to get me over the hump of 100, I give you a round of applause. Alright, so let's get this cool music on. I thank you for that. So, if you could also, the scrolling ticker down at the bottom, the space that's coming up right now is starting over. Read over that. That is for you. That is as far as social medias, things you can recommend to me, as well as all kinds of other things. So look through that. That is for you. Also, please write something in the live chat. I have a pinned message in there in the blue. That is a link for you to come up here and talk to me if you feel the need to do so. Well, not me, but if you want to come up and come talk to me about all of the topics I'll be talking about tonight, you can. All you gotta do is hit that link and stay tuned for some instructions that you need to know. So, if you could, please go and subscribe to both of my YouTube channels. Not only do I have Marcus Speaks, which this podcast houses, as well as my gaming thing, but you can go over to my second channel, which is Marcus Speaks Play. That has all of the gaming content that I got going on. Right now, I am doing a giveaway on that show, which is two Xbox Game Pass Ultimates. So if you guys want to enter in to win, this is how you do it. You have to answer two questions. Well, you have to answer one of two questions. Or no, you have to answer two questions. So, first question is, what is my favorite Nintendo mascot? What is my favorite Nintendo mascot? I have streamed two games of two of the Nintendo mascots. One of them are my favorite. You have to go into the videos and see. Just turn on the transcripts and read through them to see what me saying who is my favorite Nintendo character, as well as what was the last game that I streamed on each channel. And that's about it. That's how you enter and win. When I see that you have entered both questions right, you will be winning one of the passes, and then the second winner, or the runner-up, they'll get the second one. So both of them are good for a month on the Game Pass, and the codes are good for a year. So you guys should be able to get to them and get to the games and stuff like that. So go and subscribe to both of my channels. Go and answer those questions. Christmas is coming up, so I'm pretty sure some of y'all are parents and y'all don't want to buy games this month for those consoles that you put big money up for. So go ahead and enter in the win. Get y'all to get 1 month of games or whatever, and the code's good for a year. So if you don't use it right away, it should be good for whatever month. Also, if you could listen up, if you want to hit that link that's in the live chat, that's in the blue at the top of the live chat, you can. That link then brings you to me. You'll be here on the backstage, but you have to follow these rules. These rules are: rule number 1 is you have to be on camera at all times. That means here on the backstage, as well as if you come up here. Now, some of you may say, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want people to see what I look like. That's fine. But you still have to follow rule number 1 by coming back here and being on camera so I can see who I'm talking to. And then before you come up, I'll let you know to turn your camera off. There's a private chat back here to let me know with a question in it that lets me know, if you want to be or don't want to be on camera. The way you do that is you put your name that's over top of your screen, and you let me know, yes, I would like to, no, I would not like to be on camera. Now, with that being said, I'll bring you up after I'll bring you up here after I see that. I'll do it all in order, and we'll talk about the topics tonight. They're all fun topics that we'll be talking about tonight. So hit that that link in the chat. Come up here and talk to me. And the final rule is this: please, if you could, do me a favor. I'm trying to run at least a semi professional show here. I would like if you could do this for me. Please silence all background noise or find a nice secluded spot in your house so we can speak. I do not want to hear what's going on in your living room. If you have me on any device that you are watching me on, and you're in the same room that you will be speaking to me from, or in the same room as the device you have me on, please either turn me off or turn me all the way down. All right. I do not want to hear any feedback, and I don't want to hear anything that's going on in your house. It's really safety for you, to be honest, so people don't, pick up on where you're at, who's privy to doing shit like that. So, Anyway, also, if you could do me this one favor. If you could, like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you are new here, all right? Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to all, so you get all of my notifications once I go live. If you have ever watched my show, you know that I like to play videos when I do my podcast. It furthers the point that I make, and it makes what I'm saying actually make more sense than what you think. So, with that being said, we will go over what fair use is. Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyright motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. All right. Now, since we know what fair use is, we can get on with the show. So, if you're a audience member that's coming back, or if you're new here, this is the way I like to structure my shows. This I like to get into a little bit of banter, I like to get into a pre-show topic with the banter, and then we'll get into the main show. Now, last week my show was structured a little differently than what it usually is. This week it's the same thing. It's structured a little differently. So my banter is my pre-show, and then my pre-show topics are actually my main topics tonight. So, just for my sake, when I do my my video chapters, let me take a little pause. It's 20. It's at minute 20. So right now, I will be going over the overview of the show. So, overview of the show is basically what you saw in the thumbnail. I will be talking about Lil Fizz and why he was trending on Twitter this week. Also, I'll be talking about Shannon Sharp blowing up on Skip Bayless on Undisputed. Also, we'll be talking about Derrick Jaxn filing for a divorce from his longtime wife of 4 years, Thee Jaxn. And I will also be talking about this whole Thee Stallion Tory Lanez trial. I don't have any lawyers on hand that I can call who's looking at this, because all the lawyers that I do know, they're not paying attention to none of this foolishness in the news. So, whatever. But let's get into today's pre-show topic, which is banter. So, I was on Twitter Spaces last week, right? And it was last Friday. I was hanging out. I had time before my show. What's up, Big Dicky? How you doing, man? So I was on Twitter Spaces last week. So last Friday, Dr. Umar Johnson, he was on the Breakfast Club. So from what I've seen so far, from the past week, it's gotten like 2 million and so views. So, one of the topics that they were speaking about in that Twitter space was one of the things that Dr. Umar spoke about on the Breakfast Club. Excuse me. So, one of those things he spoke about was reparations. So, a Twitter space was made up of people who was talking about what Dr. Umar Johnson said about reparations and why haven't we gotten them yet, and why have other races gotten reparations. We haven't gotten reparations. And this was my first Twitter space, to be honest. We got Maybach Mel in the house. What's happening, homie? So so I'm listening to the space, and we sitting there, and I'm listening to these people talk, and they basically didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. Talking about, well, we deserve reparations, we should get them, which I don't disagree. I don't disagree on African Americans or blacks or Moors or Aboriginals or whatever you want to call yourself. Doesn't matter. I do believe that in this country, other races of people and ethnic groups have gotten some sort of reparation in a sense. And I do believe that black folks should be fighting for this, but we should be getting the people who actually know what the hell they're doing when it comes to this. So, what the Twitter space that I was on, they was talking about Dr. Umar Johnson and how he shouldn't be talking about reparations because he has, I guess they were Tariq Nasheedites, I guess, I don't know, because they was talking about FBA this and FBA that, so I knew I was in a room full of some Tariq Nasheedites. So, basically talking about how he has a Cuban heritage and he shouldn't be talking about reparations, and he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to reparations and blah, 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 and all this other bullshit. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to these fools, and I'm like, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, they obviously don't understand, like, what it entails when it comes to reparations. It's one part political, it's one part legal, and it's another part of people actually doing their due diligence of actually knowing what the fuck black people deserve, or if you want to say ADOS or FBA, whatever the fuck you want to say. Yes, we do deserve some sort of, I guess, payout. But when I hopped on the space, when I actually requested for a mic to talk, I don't actually remember verbatim what I said, but I do remember some of the things that I did say. So one of the things that I said to him was, why are y'all so damn selfish? Like, why do y'all want to come up here and kowtow and just sit here and talk shit about how white people should be, or this government should be paying us reparations? I was like, why are you so damn selfish? Why shouldn't you, or why aren't you working towards this so you can hand it to your kids later? You shouldn't be doing this so you can get however much money that we'll get as a payout. What you should be working on is this. You should be working on, for the next either 50 to 100 years, black people don't pay taxes. With that being said, we should be given free education. Like, instead of just looking for a check so you can give that money back to the system that basically you say that makes, not makes you, but is oppressing you, then you should be looking at some things to get out of the whole deal instead of money. Because look, right now money really ain't shit. Like, a lot of people are going to cryptocurrency because they find it to have some sort of value. The money right now, the US dollar isn't really worth much right now. Gotta remember, in 2020 they printed a whole bunch of money so we could get a stimulus, and with all that money being printed up, it weighed the dollar, it made the dollar go way down. So why is it that you guys are only thinking about money? Because what you want to buy, Gucci, Louis, and all these other brands that don't give a fuck about you. And I had that argument with someone that I went to school with who I guess got into fashion, and he was praising all of these big designers, and I'm like, dog, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't even really care if you are buying their product. They don't care, and they much rather you don't, because they will feel as though that you're bringing the value down of the company by your black skin wearing their designs. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm racist. I'm just saying it because we all know this to be true. Like, we all know this because a lot of people had something to say when Ralph Lauren said the N-word, but you gotta remember what he said and put it in context. He actually said what either Havoc or Prodigy said to him. That's the reason why he said the N-word. You gotta remember that. So, but I'm veering off topic. But back to this Twitter space thing. So I basically told him, per the Constitution, it would be illegal if they did give us some sort of payout like that. Plus, with all that money being printed, is like, well, what are we gonna get? All of what, $200,000 maybe, with a 50% tax deduction on it, which probably brings it down to $100,000, and then they gotta. The state has to tax it as well. That's another 30. So we're probably going to be left with all of maybe $75,000 altogether. That's takeaway from all of it. We're probably going to have at least $75,000, if not less. You can't even buy a house with $75,000. If you're looking to get in like a little small townhome, in a fucked up neighborhood, yeah, you'll probably be able to buy that. But other than that, like, what, you're gonna be paying $400 plus property tax every year, and it's like you got your reparations just to get a townhouse. Is that what you worked for that? Like, that's dumb. But what I was also speaking about was we should be paying attention to exactly what Dr. Umar Johnson is doing. Now, a lot of people are coming at him because he got white contractors to do some work that he asked black folks to do either for free or he would pay them. Now, those black contractors didn't want to hear it, so in order to get his building up to code, he got white contractors to do it. They did it in time, he said, in an orderly fashion and on time of what they said that they was going to get everything done, and they got it done. So a lot of people are looking at him like, well, he's always talking about Pan-Africanism and how we don't need white people for this. It's like, well, he asked for that. He did a call to action to all black contractors. Y'all didn't want to hear it, so he got someone else. So what do you want him to do? Just sit there and have the school keep dilapidating and not only property value but also price if he does look at this as a fucked up investment of what he's doing and goes to sell it again. Like, you got to remember, the school sat for 10 years, if not 7 to 10 years before he got it. So it's a lot of shit that has to be done in that school in order for it to be up to code and runnable for what he has in store. Now, what I was saying about that was what Dr. Umar Johnson has in store for his school is this. He wants black parents to pay for their black child's education because you got to look at what's going on in schools these days right now. We're having tranny story hour. We're having, if you guys didn't see that story over in Chicago, this private school, which a lot of prominent names come from, had some sort of gay or whatever people coming to the school and giving the kids dildos and butt plugs. Like, this is what public school is looking like right now. And I made a post a few weeks ago on I believe it was my Instagram, and it was this. I believe I read that either last week or the week before, where it said something to where, like, teacher gave her students like the opportunity, not the opportunity, but the ability while they're in school to be whoever they want to be, have any pronouns that they want or whatever. I said in with that story post was I said in that story post, I said this. I said homeschooling and pod learning, which is like, pod learning is basically homeschool, but it's like a community that comes together, agrees upon what the kids learn in the homeschooling. Like, everyone has like a task to do. Like, every parent who is operating in the homeschooling program that they're running, all of the parents have a say so of what their kids learn or whatever. So I said pod learning and homeschooling looks pretty good right about now. So you got to remember, Dr. Umar Johnson, they always say, well, he's been collecting money for the school for 10 years, which is a lie, because he didn't start collecting money until 2014, which was basically a year prior, before I saw him twice in 1 year, where he also collected money. And this is way before he had a building. And then probably a year later after that, not 2016, he set his eyes upon an old HBCU, of which got sold to, I guess, I don't know, an Asian company, of which, a lot of these HBCUs are going basically out of business. So, who better to take over these facilities other than black people? So, just saying, like, Dr. Umar Johnson, he had a plan. If some people say he needs help, I kind of agree with that. If he needs a little bit of help, he needs people with him to have his same thought process of how they want to go about doing this whole schooling project that he's doing. So with the whole reparations things, how all of that ties in is this: is black folks want money. They want a tangible source of knowing this is what I got from my ancestors' suffering. Okay, cool. That's fine. But we also have to think about long-term shit. We have to think 10, 20, 30 years into the future of, like I said, money's going to get taxed 2 times, federally and by the state. So we're probably not going to make out with a lot. Just don't look at like the big numbers. Like, don't look at, if it does happen. Like, let's look at California. All of their black residents are about to get reparations of some sort. So that means that the state is going to tax the money, which they're probably going to make out with about, I don't know, let's say maybe $85,000 to $90,000. Because I think they're granted $200, but you got to remember, with that big chunk of money, they're going to tax that money very heavily. So you got to remember this one thing: if you want a tangible profit out of that, you got to look at it like this. Okay, well, we'll get the money today, but this is also our plan of how we want to collect this money. We don't want it in a lump sum. We'll get, let's say that they get, I don't know, let's say that they get $90,000. You can then have them give you pieces of it throughout the years. So, they're not thinking, like, a lot of them just was up there talking about, yeah, I want my money because my ancestors suffered too damn long and blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking at them like, hey, yo, like, that's all well and cool, but, like, you got to look at it like this. Let's say that we don't get it. What are you going to do? Like, there was a lot of black people who cut Ice Cube down because he went to go and meet with Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump was the only one who would speak to him. You gotta remember, the regime that's in office right now, they told him, wait until after the election, we'll talk then. And they still haven't talked to Ice Cube. So, like, we're calling the Orange Man bad, but do you like what you have now? Like, come on now. Like, I'm pretty sure he would never do it. Joe Biden, he would never do it. Big Dicky says, seems reasonable the descendants of slaves should get compensated for the wealth the slave owners obtain from their ancestors. You're right. So we got to look at it like this. How about we don't get it, but we fight for our kids to get it? And if our kids don't get it, how about our kids' kids, our grandkids, or our great grandkids? Let's fight for them. Stop being so fucking selfish of looking at dollar signs in the sky that we probably never will get. And I got pushback in the Twitter space for me saying this. They basically called me a white man. And I'm like, well, my thumbnail is the actual person who I am. If you go to my Twitter page and click on any of the videos that I have posted, there's one posted in there right now. Go to it, watch it. You'll learn something. But they didn't want to hear it. So I just left the room laughing. I'm like, yo, these are some dumb niggas. Like, I hate dumb niggas now. Like, I'm sorry. If you're dumb and you a nigga, I hate you. I'm sorry. Well, I'm really not sorry, to be honest, because it's you did it to yourself. Like, you really did it to yourself. Like, I fucking hate dumb niggas. Like, I do. Like, you'll sit there and say all the shit you were saying in that Twitter space, but you have no plan. The whole time I'm asking these motherfuckers, well, what is your plan then? They didn't have a fucking tangible plan to speak of. All they were saying was, well, we don't need a plan. We need our money. It's like, well, fucker, you need a fucking plan to get the money. What you think that the United States government is just going to give you trillions of dollars of money? Like, are you fucking insane? They'll shoot your ass before they give you that money, as we've been seeing a lot lately. Like, come on now, like, be smart about this. If you really want this, you're gonna be really smart. But these dumb niggas seem to not understand this. So I left that Twitter space laughing because I also wrote, because when you're in a Twitter space, I guess it makes a post for you for people to come to on Twitter. Like if you're on your like the homepage or whatever, I guess it makes a tweet for you. So I wrote in the space's tweet and said, if this is the group fighting for our reparations, I don't want my check. I really don't. I'll give it up. I don't want the check. If these ignorant motherfuckers are going to be sitting here just kowtowing and just talking shit the whole entire time, like, I don't want it. I don't want that money. Because at that point, who knows what the fuck will happen to us if those stupid motherfuckers was the ones who actually got that shit. Nah, I don't want the money. I'm sorry. I know it's free money, but nah, I'm cool. I don't want none. I'm good. And that's about it of the whole Twitter space. Like, I sat in another one as well, but I didn't speak on that one. I just basically listened to what they were saying, and they had more of a better conversation and was putting together more cogent sentences than all the other motherfuckers that was in that other space. And I felt sad afterwards. I'm like, yo, like, it's a great number of black people that are out there, like those 37 motherfuckers that was in that Twitter space that day. It's a great chunk of us out there. Look, black people only make up 13% of this country. So let's say about 5% of black Americans are exactly like those 37 motherfuckers in that goddamn Twitter space. That's a big fucking number. So I don't know, man. Like if we want to have this reparations talk or whatever, we need to start getting lawyers on the line who are, I guess, civil rights attorneys. We need them. We need to put some of this conversation towards politicians. And we need some good researchers on, and we really need to put them on payroll as well, because they'll need that money to do the research that they need to do. We need to do that. And the only way we can do that is if we all cohesively come together. Excuse me, which will probably never happen because black folks have a hard time coming together. But we need to come together and talk this shit out and tell all that 5%, like, yo, once we get this money, or if we get, I don't know, like if we get let off of taxes for 50 to 100 years, or I don't know, we get free education with no cost or whatever, like, y'all can't keep acting like that anymore. Like, all that bullshit that y'all got going on, like, that y'all talking about, no more. No more. And that's how it should be. Like, and that's just me talking. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe y'all see it differently. I don't know. But I just feel as though that we shouldn't have ignorant motherfuckers on Twitter spaces talking shit about what we need and what we have to do in order to get it and all this other foolishness. Because if you can't speak, if you don't know words, if you don't know vocabulary, and if you don't know what words mean, you should shut all the way the fuck up. And that goes for any race out there. I'm just not speaking about black people anymore right now. Anybody who has or cannot complete a sentence without saying "y'all mean" or "you know what I'm saying" or whatever, you should shut all the way the fuck up. Allow the ones who you call corny, probably such as myself too, that you call corny, allow them to speak. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. I was very upset after leaving that space because like I said, I looked at it like, well, damn, this is like 5% of the black community that speaks like this. Like I have a 12th grade like I graduated high school, didn't want to go back to school afterwards. But I at least applied myself into getting into reading books that weren't about sex, like the sex novels that were real popular in like the late 1990s, early 2000s. I didn't just start reading those. I started reading newspapers first. Well, newspapers and comic books first. Then I got into some books that had pictures in them. You know, whatever. And then I moved on to thicker, bigger books that had a lot of vocabulary terms that I did not know. And if you don't know a word, you look it up, you sound it out, you look up what it means and all this other shit, and now you just added a new word to your vocabulary. All right? So, with that Twitter space, I want to tell everybody that was on that motherfucker, can y'all all please go to hell? Because if you are the ones who are fighting for our reparations, chances are we're not going to get it. So y'all should be shutting all the way the fuck up. And y'all should also please go to hell. Because y'all, after I left, y'all talked about me for probably about a good 2-3 minutes about how I wasn't black and how am I gonna come in there and talk shit about how we not gonna get it because per the Constitution it's illegal. It's like y'all don't read. That's the reason why y'all was sitting there talking shit. And I could tell that y'all don't read because y'all was sitting there after I left talking shit. So you proved my point. So what you say, BD? You said most rap music is a detriment to black people, in my humble opinion. It's destructive to young minds. And you're goddamn right about that, BD, because you know why? Everyone's the same rapper. Everyone raps the same way now. Like it's crazy. Everyone raps the same way in the da 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 rap. That's what I call it, the da 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 rap, because that's how they rap. It's like, nigga, like all y'all are rapping the same way, but then you have these young kids talking about who's better. It's like all these niggas sound the same. Like a few weeks back, um, when I was at work, I'm glad you brought that up, BD, because this brings this story on. So I'm at work, and I work with a lot of young people. Like I'm probably like I'm the young old nigga in there, right? So a lot of these youngsters, they're like 25 and under. So they was talking about at a point. Well, no, they asked me. They asked me who is the greatest basketball player of all time, and this is who they named: LeBron James, Luca, D Wade, or I forgot the other dude's name that they said. And I said, are you fucking kidding me? I said, do you know how old I am? I was like, I watched greats play. I watched Patrick Ewing. I watched Michael Jordan. I watched Dennis Rodman. I watched uh, Ron Harper. I watched, that whole Knicks team demolish the fucking Chicago Bulls one season. Like, I was like, none of these basketball players could play. If I said, let's say a time machine happened, somebody created a time machine and brought the Knicks team or the Detroit Pistons, because those are two like dominant team. Like as far as like defense goes, back in the early '90s, like those were like the top most offensive teams during that time. I said if someone created a time machine and brought either team over into our time now, I said all those players that you watch on that television will all get demolished by these niggas. And most of these motherfuckers couldn't even shoot a three pointer. I said, so you gotta look at it like this. Y'all gonna have to start looking at some film for the simple fact that y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Did you ever watch Michael Jordan play? Did you ever see the grace that he had on the court? Although they created Jordan rules afterwards, but still, we have to look like these kids don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They call into Big Dickie's comment that he made a little bit earlier about rap music being destructive to the mind nowadays. We even had a conversation about that. I was like, y'all listen to this bullshit rap. Like, if y'all went through my CD book, y'all wouldn't see none of these rappers in any of my CD book. Like, I would pass y'all mixtapes that I've gotten off the street, and that's some of the best rap I've ever heard. Next to like Jadakiss and the Locks and who else? Let's even take it down south. Lil Wayne and Currency and um Bum B and Pimp C. Like nigga, like I watched greatness when I was growing up. Like, you guys was served shit on a platter when you guys grew up. Like, most of y'all was born in the early 2000s, so I know y'all don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because that's when the internet really kicked the fuck off. I said I was there for it. The reason why you guys are on chat rooms, well, not chat rooms, but on lives and y'all can look at shit like that's readily available, is basically because people who are my age, if not in my age group, did this, motherfucker. Like, y'all wouldn't have most of this shit if it wasn't for people that grew up during my time during the 90s and saw some shit that they wanted the internet to do. It wound up happening. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. Look at Jack Dorsey. Look at whoever the fuck runs Snapchat. Like these are people that are either my age, if not 10 years older, who created this shit. And you guys are just looking at it as, well, this is how stuff is. It's like, nah, like we couldn't pick up a cell phone back in the day without having somebody say, hey, remember, you got nighttime, you get night times free when you call. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, y'all don't have that now. Like, y'all can just pick up y'all's phone and talk however the hell you want. I said I had house phones. I grew up with a house phone in my house. You guys couldn't take it. You guys couldn't be able to handle picking up a phone and hearing someone talking on the phone and you have to hang the phone up because you have to wait your turn. Like, you couldn't handle it. You couldn't handle it at all. BD writes, it's like the new rap. It's here. It's here for like 2 weeks and then it's gone. Uh, for good reason, they aren't really saying shit worth thinking about. Right. And I just watched Snoop Dogg on the 85 South show, and he said 30,000 records come out every day. Now, he said when he, was coming up in music, maybe 1,000 records came out, like maybe within that week, if not that month. He said, but every day, 30,000 records get posted to either Spotify, Apple Music, whatever Google has, I guess Google Music. 30,000 records are being released every day, but how many of them are charting like the top 10, if not the top 20? Like, that other whatever thousand is going to be, they're not making it anywhere. And then you have your underground artists, of which are either in your city or about either from Dad Piff, if that's still a thing, or what's the other one called? CD Gorilla, whatever it's called. Yeah, if you guys know about all 30,000 songs, then cool. But if not, it's like like now you have to pick what year of music or what decade of music you want to listen to. I don't go past 2013 because I believe Kendrick's Good Kid, Mad City came out in 2012. I didn't know about it until 2013. Fell in love with the CD. And I said, if no one's rapping like Kendrick or anywhere near it, I'm not fucking with you. And then I had like my mixtape rappers I would listen to, such as like Gunplay and Waka Flocka and all of them. I'd listen to the fuck shit as well, but it was good fuck shit. Like, nowadays the music is whack. Like, Waka Flocka, who actually said he's not a good rapper, if not, he said he's not a rapper at all. He can rap better than most of these motherfuckers rapping now. Like, it's weird. Like, it's weird as fuck that most of these records that come out are bullshit. If not all of the records that come out are bullshit. Even pop music is whack. Like, black people, when I was growing up in the early 90s and the 90s in general, in the early 2000s, we didn't really listen to pop, but we dipped and dabbled. Like, we know some pop songs, we know some NSYNC songs, we know some Britney Spears shit, we know some Christina Aguilera shit and Backstreet Boys shit, but we didn't really listen to it, but we dabbled a little bit. And even like, they called that shit back in the day, Britney Spears and NSYNC, they called that shit music back in the day. But do you listen to the songs that's on the radio now? Like, of any genre? Like, go on XM radio, go on Sirius XM, and listen to what is it called? Pop, not Pop 2K, but something 10, or I forgot what it's the 10 spot, I think it is. And listen to, it's another pop station that they play at work all the damn time. That's like up to date music. Listen to all that bullshit that's on that damn radio station, and then go on to the what's the black station on there? Go on the Heat, and it's another one on there as well. And all that, like, they play nothing but fuck shit on there, and it's like, I'm glad I have an earphone where I can listen to anything that I want to while I'm working, because I would shoot myself if this shit, if I had to listen to this shit all the damn time. Whew. Who's ready to get into some topics? Y'all ready? Let's get into the shit. So your boy Lil Fizz, or Mr. Bubble, he was trending Monday, and it was strange why he was trending. I didn't know why he was trending. I was looking like, why is homie trending? So I get to a video that's like one of the first videos that was on Twitter. And it was this girl saying that, why the fuck when I get off of work and I log on to Twitter and I go to the Explore page and I see that Lil Fizz is trending and I go to why Lil Fizz is trending, why is it that why is it that I gotta see his booty hole? Like, I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what's going on? So obviously, Lil Fizz, he got his, I don't know if his OnlyFans was hacked or somebody paid the money to see why he was on OnlyFans, and they stumbled across that video of him playing in his booty hole. And I was trying to understand, I was like, Lil Fizz was playing in his booty hole? Now, for all intents and purposes, I'm not showing that video. Neither did I see it. So we won't be stumbling upon that shit tonight. Y'all can pay y'all $26 over at OnlyFans on Lil Fizz's whatever OnlyFans calls they shit, this page, his channel, whatever the fuck. Y'all can go over there, pay $26 and have fun with that. I'm not showing that shit here on my channel. All right, I don't want to be kicked off YouTube. Now, what I do have is I guess a white guy who either saw it or just felt strongly about talking about what was trending. So here's this guy talking about either what he saw or what people are talking about.
I hope you understand that the video and pictures I share in this video, I have to edit them, because if I don't, I'll get thrown off YouTube, and I don't really want that, and I'm especially not...
Okay, since he's going to be showing them, I will be taking him off and putting him back on the screen, because I don't want that being shown on my fucking channel either. Alright? Let's keep going.
Get thrown off for someone like Lil Fizz. So the last time we caught up with rapper, is he really a rapper? Lil Fizz, was in February, when explicit stuff also leaked onto social media, and we covered it then. Now this has happened again, except this time it's a kind of new level of gross, I think, anyway. It's really not pleasant at all, as if this stuff is ever pleasant. I find this one particularly unpleasant. I mean, call me someone with a really stuffy conservative opinion, but I don't really want to see a video of a man's butthole. That's the way I am. I just have certain standards. It's not something I'm interested in seeing, and thanks to Lil Fizz, a lot of us have seen it, perhaps even against our will, by just clicking on his name on Twitter to see why he's trending. This is what is presented to us. $26. That's what he's charging on OnlyFans for people to see the video and these pictures. Think what you could do with $26.
Now, he just said, think about what you can do with $26. So some people chose to spend their hard-earned money to look at a washed-up entertainer stick his fingers in his booty hole. I guess that's what y'all wanted to see this whole time from him, is him stick, or see if the rumors were true about all those B2K boys getting fooled with when they were younger. I don't know what y'all's obsession would be of looking at a man playing in his booty hole. Now, I can see if you're LGBTQ and you get down like that and you like that sort of thing, then yeah, I give you a pass. But any other you nasty motherfuckers who went over there to see what was up, shame on you. Shame on you. All right? Shit. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Dollars. Yeah, I know it's not a huge sum of money, but you could buy some food, buy some books for your kids, Buy a CD. Do you still buy CDs? You could buy a CD. You could buy, well, several Hot Wheels cars. You could even maybe buy a cheap PlayStation game. You could buy a pair of socks. You could buy a torch. I'm going along a list here that could just be never ending, so let's not carry on. But you get my point. There are better things you can spend your money.
There's better things you can spend on with $26 than to see a man fondle in his booty hole. All right, like I don't know, like pause for with all of this that I am saying. All right, and anything that I say or I'm about to say, to see a man trending that who was once famous and is still kind of famous to this day, to see his name trending on Twitter does not mean that it's a good thing most of the time. Most of the time it's, well, he's trending. Do I really want to know what the hell he's trending for? Like like once I saw the video of the girl saying, "Yeah, he was playing in his booty hole," I was like, "Oh, I'm good. I don't need to scroll down to see what people are saying. I can already expect what people are saying at this point."
I think for me, what I find most upsetting.
Sorry, and a lot of what I've seen in videos of like people talking about this, on YouTube, not Twitter. Uh, a lot of them was saying like, why would we want to see Lil Fizz playing in his booty hole? And people took pictures of this shit and they sharing it around, I guess Twitter, if not around social media or whatever. And it's like, well, this is what happens when you catch a motherfucker playing with his butt, I guess. Like, you get a spectacle, and then you get people coming against them. There's probably dudes, or if not other females, going against them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a shit show, basically. And sometimes people like seeing train wrecks, so, you know, whatever. But let's keep going.
About this whole thing, aside from the grossness and the fact that I don't understand why anyone would want to film that part of their anatomy and then put it on a public website where people pay to see it. I think what's really annoying is that this is now how people can make money without having to perhaps work on what was their original talent. Like, if you're a musician and it's not working for you, then there seems to be this thing where you can grift onto OnlyFans and make extra money and not have to worry about your music.
Like, let's look at a lot of, like, if we look at what OnlyFans was made for, right? It was made for content creators, it was made for musicians, it was made for people who have like fan bases, if not followings or whatever, right? And let's say that they probably weren't making, let's say that they had maybe like 1 million followers, if not more, on social media, and let's say that they had half that on their YouTube channel. Well, most of these people, they're like, well, damn, I'm not really getting paid what I'm worth, so I might as well just go over to OnlyFans and make exactly what I feel as though that I'm worth and charge people to see my content, which isn't bad. A lot of YouTubers do that, and then they post it on YouTube so they can get the extra residual money that they either do from either OnlyFans or Patreon or wherever else that they put their stuff at. And you know, they then put it on YouTube so they can get the residual income from that video. And that's cool. But then there's the other class of folks who don't have talent, who then go on to OnlyFans and they get butt ass naked and they, you know, they're either fondling themselves or they playing in their butt or or you know, they're doing whatever the fuck under the sun for everyone to see, and then, you know, they're posting it. I don't know if you can go live on OnlyFans or not, but if you can, they're doing these live streamed videos of them being ass naked. Like, again, there it was another guest on 85 Self that I choose not to watch because I don't know who the hell what's her name? Big B Nasty or whatever. I guess she's an OnlyFans girl that I guess plays with herself a lot and she squirts. This is just all from what I'm getting from what I watched on 85 Self, like a little piece of what I watched on there. Because, most of their guests now, I don't really watch all that much because it's like, because now, they have their own app and, they're putting out content on there and they're just getting the residual income from those videos from the 85 channel, and then they're putting it on to their 85 South channel on YouTube, and then they're just getting the residual income from whatever that they can make from what they're not making on their app, which is fine, right? But just like anyone else, everyone has the right to choose what they want to watch, and I just choose not to watch most people on 85 Self now, since I don't have the 85 app to pay for and watch the things that I would like to watch as far as their live shows and them doing podcasts with actual people that I feel that I would like to watch, other than most of the fuck shit that they have on there now. I watch their black market, them bigging up black businesses and stuff like that, but other than that, it's sparse when it comes to me watching their podcasts with certain guests. Like, they had Lil Webby on. Like, I don't really care that much for Lil Webby. I just like two songs Lil Webby did, and that's it. Like, other than that, back when Lil Webby was big, like, we didn't really fuck with Lil Webby. We just fucked with the actual 2 songs that he came out with in the early 2000s that we liked. Like, what the fuck was that one song called? I don't know if it was called Give Me That Pussy or Give Me That Cat. I don't know what the hell it was called, but everyone liked that song. And if it plays today, everyone gets up and they dance to it, because that's something that every man has wanted to say to a woman. Girl, give me that puss. Girl, give me that. Girl, give me that cat. Girl, give me that puss. Like, that song is the shit. And then I forgot the other song that he did that was real popular, but everyone remembers Give Me That Pussy, because everyone loved that song. Even girls like that song to this day. But anyway, or women, So let me finish this video and then we'll get into this short article that I have about this. So let's keep going.
Which seems a bit sad. Because what you're doing is you're basically saying, well, the music's not going well. I'll just show everyone my private parts and make some quick money. It's annoying that the internet allows you to do that, I think. Because I'm sure there's better things you could be doing with your time. And it's sad that you can be rewarded, and rewarded very well. OnlyFans pays well for doing this kind of thing. Let's not all be porn stars. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a very clever thing. And I'm certainly not pro it. And I don't really care what people say. But there you go, that's what he's been up to. So yeah. Let me know what you think. Yeah. Although you probably don't want.
He's at a loss for words because even he doesn't understand what the fuck's going on right now. So, anyway. So I get this article, and I always cite my sources. I get this article from Sports Kita. Headline was, why was Lil Fizz trending on Twitter earlier this week? Well, that was my little bit that I put in there for some fact that, Anyway, reality show star Lil Fizz has gone viral on Twitter after his explicit photos found their way to social media. The alleged nude photos were reportedly taken from his OnlyFans page. I guess how you say this person's name. I guess he's a Twitter user. Netizens has seen taken trolling the singer relentlessly on social media. For those who are unaware of the singer, the New Orleans native rose to fame after he starred on the reality show Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, which is wrong. He rose to fame when he was in B2K, but let's keep going. Over the weekend, 3 explicit pictures of the entertainer were leaked on social media. According to Hollywood Unlocked, the singer was wearing an LA cap in one of the images. The other 2 images believed to be of his genital area, including a close-up shot of his derriere. Netizens were keen to get hold of the images. Internet users were scrambling online after fellow Twitter users to send shocking pictures. Internet users were left flabbergasted after finding out why the 37-year-old was trending on Twitter. Those who saw the images, which I did not, also jokingly said on social media that they regretted viewing them. Several memes spread like wildfire online. At the time of the writing of this article, Lil Fizz has not addressed the picture leak. Now hold on, let's stop right there because this dude didn't say shit. He wasn't like, hey yo, like, you know what I mean, that ain't even me, that's my brother, or some shit like that somebody would say. Like, he just was like, nah, I ain't gonna say shit. Like, it's just gonna make me sound even stupider. Hold on, let me see if this music's too loud. Let me turn my mic up a little bit. Alright. Let me turn this down in my ear. Alright. So, yeah, he wasn't like, hey, yo, like, you know what I mean, that wasn't me, like, motherfuckers trying to set me up, they trying, launder money from me and shit, like, you know what I mean, like, I ain't even do that stuff, you know what I'm saying, but they find him in an LA cap, one, and then they they see him fondling in his butt. Ew. As everybody wants to say. Ew. Like, what the fuck is he doing, yo? Like, this is some wild shit, yo. Like, and BD says it best. BD says, men showing their asshole for attention and money. I swear an asteroid needs to hit Earth and restart this whole shit. You goddamn right. You are goddamn right. Why in the fuck are men acting like females these days? It's fucking stupid. It's fucking dumb. Like, now, we all remember 2020 and everyone's being let off their jobs because either they didn't want to get the Yamin and, or the Fauci juice or whatever, and, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just, girls was like, well, fuck it. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure this has been maybe some women's plan that if I don't, if I'm not successful at my job, or if I don't get the whatever position I want, or if I don't whatever, excuse me, that I'm gonna start stripping. Which, some people have that ambition, maybe. Some people say, if I don't, start making whatever at my job, or if I don't hit the lottery, I'm gonna do porn. And, most of them do. Like, I'm pretty sure the Viacom people are paying Lil Fizz at least a good amount of money to where he can at least sustain what he has at least, I don't know, like I'm pretty sure he's getting paid at least maybe. This is just ballpark figuring. Like he's probably getting paid maybe all of maybe 20, if not $35,000 an episode, if not just for a season itself of of um of Love and Hip Hop, because Love and Hip Hop's all the Love and Hip Hop like variants are successful shows. You would say they're shows that are fuck up the image of the black community, but they're successful shows. And I don't know, man. Like this guy, he's just sitting here not saying shit about showing his booty hole on camera and shit. It's like, come on, dog. Like I'm pretty sure you got a show lined up somewhere. Like I'm pretty sure you're not hurting for money right now. Like you just had a successful tour um with Amorion, last year or whatever, if not the beginning of this year. I'm pretty sure you had a very successful tour when y'all was, going on tour. But I don't know, man. Y'all, it's crazy out here. Let me keep reading. So, however, he remained active on Instagram. Yesterday, I believe this was a day later. He posted an image of himself alongside at Eric Killer Cam at the basketball court. Today, he shared a comical House of Highlights post on his Instagram story. This is not the first time he has hold on. This isn't the first time he has had to deal with his private content finding its way online. I believe they're talking about when he started dating April, Amorion's ex-wife. In February, an explicit video of him made its way on Twitter. I don't know what they're talking about there, and nor do I care. But this is what these stars do now. They get their bones off of playing in their asshole now. I guess I don't know. Like stardom is a bunch of bullshit if you look at it. Like don't ever become a star or famous or whatever. Look, I just want a nice little niche group of people that I can talk to every week. I can play video games for, or if not with, every week. I don't need to be famous. Like, I would take maybe Kevin Samuels' style of internet famous. I'll take it, but I won't utilize it just like he did. I probably will make a post a day on social media. That's it. And then I would do my shows. And then that's it. That's all you guys will see from me. Like, I'll take that level of internet stardom, but I will not utilize it because I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. Like somebody who I will be talking about today. So let's move on. Furious Shannon Sharp loses it on live TV as Skip Bayless compares him to Tom Brady, per Daily Mail says. So if you guys didn't see this story, so Skip made a personal shot. It's what Skip does. Skip made a personal shot at Shannon Sharp on their show Undisputed. When they started talking about Tom Brady's season this year and how he's doing on the field. Choice words that were respectable and family friendly got thrown around, but let's see what's going on. So, the article starts out saying Shannon Sharp completely lost his cool on live television after Skip Bayless compared the Hall of Famer to Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady. The pair were discussing the 45-year-old following the Bucs heavy 35-7 defeat by the San Francisco 49ers Sunday on their regular Undisputed show on Monday. So this was, I'm about to show what actually they're talking about. So this was the back and forth of what happened. Brady doesn't need to watch tape because he goes to their practices, as we all know, Spygate. We also know that he likes to deflate footballs. What was that called? I forgot what that scandal was called, but this motherfucker is a cheater. And this was another argument I had with these young bucks at work because one of Matt, if you watching, you have to defend yourself on Monday. So this dude that I work with, he said that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback to have ever played the game. And I looked at him with so much disgust because, again, I had to let him know I can't agree with you. I watched greats play. I'm sorry. Like, I've watched greats play all of my life. As far as it goes as football, if not basketball. Hell, I was a soccer fanatic for my younger years. So when the World Cup would pop up, I would be watching it. And I believe, what was it, Brazil was my favorite team for a while. Yeah, so, you know, like, what is Skip talking about? Like, in no way, shape, or form is what's his name? Tom Brady the greatest fucking quarterback to have ever lived at all. Now, BD, I haven't read your comment, but I hope it's good. I think Tom Brady is one of those who like to play around in his ass. We might see him on OnlyFans in the future. Good one, BD. Good one. So, if there was a way I could like that comment, I would. I'm trying to see if I can do it. Let me see. Damn, there's no way I could do it, but if I could, BD, I would, man. Because that was good. Yes, he probably will be playing around in his booty hole soon. Because he ain't got his wife no more, or somebody will be playing in his booty hole. But anyway, so yeah, I had the argument with them. I was like, man, look, we had so many good quarterbacks in the early 2000s, like those years, like 98 to maybe like 2005 was like my key time when I was actually paying attention to football and basketball as well. I didn't stop watching basketball. I stopped watching basketball probably after Kevin Garnett retired. After Kevin Garnett retired, I was like, all right, I'm done. Like, I'm not watching basketball no more. Because Kevin Garnett, as well as Shaq and Allen Iverson, was my favorite three players in basketball. So, like, after they all retired, I said, all right, I'm done. It's no one here on the court that I actually like looking at. Like, D Wade's cool, but, you know, he's all right. Like, he's not the best player, but he's a good enough player to watch when I have the time to watch. But I'm not going to be sitting here and saying, oh, shit, the Heat are playing. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, fuck the Heat. Like, I'm not even from Florida. So, anyway. So let's get back into the video, and it starts getting hot. I'm gonna take a take from Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb said on his 5150 show Tuesday that when Tom Brady got traded, or basically traded himself to the Bucks, because after he left the Patriots, like, even the Patriots have been in decline. So when he left the Patriots, went down to Tampa Bay, Gronk came off of retirement and started fucking playing, and then they put all kinds of other all-star players around this nigga. Like, come on now. Like, it's not a fucking coincidence. Tom Brady is fucking the NFL's doll that they love so fucking much that they feel is the greatest player to have ever played the game of football, which is fucking like, come on now, like give me a break. Like we got to look at it like this. Tom Brady's okay. He's good, but he's not the greatest player to have ever played the game of football. Like, let's be for real about that. Fucking Corey basically said that, he had a team built around this nigga. Uh that's the reason why I believe, because we all know that the Super Bowl is fucking rigged, which means that the entire season has to be fucking rigged at that for Tom Brady to take a team who has made the Super Bowl one time before, lost at that, and then they have this man on their team and they lose again. I mean, and they win the game. That makes entirely no fucking sense whatsoever. Not one fucking time. Now, my homeboy who is a Tampa Bay fan, if you're watching, Tampa Bay sucks. Just letting you know that. Go Steelers. And even the Steelers ain't really that good this year. Like let's just be honest. They'll make the playoffs, but they're not that fucking good. Like, I'm still pissed off about what happened. Was it like 3-4 years ago, where they fucked us over on that touchdown that we got in order to get to the Super Bowl, but they didn't. Which I believe we was playing the Patriots when that happened, which means that they cheated, which they usually do for Tom Brady. And no, I'm sorry, we weren't. I think we were playing the Bengals, I believe. I can't remember who the fuck we were playing. But they fucked us over. That's all I have to say. They called a holding call, and the motherfucker wasn't even holding. Like, I'm sitting there looking at the whole entire tape of them replaying this shit, and the whole time I'm looking at this shit, I'm like, there was no holding nowhere. Like, who the fuck was holding? No one was fucking holding. So they took away our touchdown, which fucked us over. The other team wound up scoring, I believe, was a field goal, which allowed them to win the game. And I'm sitting there looking at the refs like, they do it again. They do this shit again, and it never fucking fails. Like, y'all gotta look at that. Y'all gotta remember. I forgot what Super Bowl that was, but the Steelers almost made it, but they had to cheat. But anyway, let's keep going. You can't compare the quarterback position to a tight end position. Now, before I was a Steelers fan, before I came to my senses and became a Steelers fan, I was a Broncos fan, because my favorite player who played for the Broncos at the time, look his name up if y'all don't know him, Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis was my favorite player in football until he got his knee injury, and it was a devastating loss because he had to retire from the NFL, because if he would have played on that knee, he probably wouldn't be walking the same today. But thank God, he played for as many years as he did, and I was a Terrell Davis fan at the time. When I was a Broncos fan, we got none other than Shannon Sharp as our tight end. Now, Shannon Sharp, he was a good player. I don't feel as though he was utilized as much as he should have been, but he was a good player. And also, let's take Clinton Portis. We had Clinton Portis as our backup, running back. And then we had our sorry ass fucking receivers that we had on the Broncos. And every year we lost the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, not the Super Bowl. We lost the playoffs every fucking year, just like the Steelers is doing. Like, they don't even get a Super Bowl chance anymore, other than that one year. That and I believe that year Roethlisberger didn't really play all that much that year when we had got to the Super Bowl. And then the year when he was suspended for 6 games after that rapé allegation, they had brought Mike Vick on, and I was like, yo, that's the dude that we should get as our quarterback. Because Vick was playing good. I mean, when I say he was playing good, he was playing phenomenal in that quarterback position. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know the fucking heads of the organization is looking at this shit. I know they're not just going to keep banking their money on Roethlisberger. This motherfucker basically be throwing fucking games most of the time. Get Vic in here as the backup and play this motherfucker. But, you know, when you can hope, you can dream. So, you know, it was all my hopes and dreams that Mike Vick will become the Steelers quarterback so we can start seeing Super Bowls again. But, you know, they have their way that they want to run their organization. So I said fine, and I just said fuck it, because they're not going to listen to us mere mortals who just watch the games and we don't make decisions on what happens within the organization. So I just said fuck it, because, you know, then after all that Kaepernick shit, I completely stopped watching football. So, you know, the only sport until the UFC does something that I don't like, then I'll stop watching that as well. But I only watch the UFC. So yeah. Let's get back into the video. Out of here, Skip. What? Come on, y'all. What the fuck, shit, man? He's not the greatest player to have ever stepped foot on a football field. That is false. Because if we're looking at quarterbacks, and let's take white quarterbacks at that, we got Joe Namath. We got the other dude, I forgot his name, who played for the Broncos. We got we got we got Cunningham. He's a black dude. I forgot his first name. We got Cunningham. We got damn, who else? Mike Vick. You name the motherfucker, man. Like, and I'll say again, like I said with basketball, if we take who's a dominant force back in the as far as a team, if we take the 1991, if not 92, Dallas Cowboys, and we put them against any fucking team, and I'm talking about with LT on the team at that, Lawrence Taylor. If we put Lawrence Taylor, right? If Lawrence Taylor is on the Cowboys and the Cowboys, the 91, 92 Cowboys, I believe he still was playing back then. I gotta look that up. If we take that one team and put them up against the entire NFL, they wouldn't win. None of the motherfuckers playing now, they wouldn't win. Because you gotta remember, back in them days, they were actually looking for for cracked out LT. Like, yo, where the fuck is Lawrence Taylor at? They will call timeouts just because they didn't know where the fuck LT was. They'd be like, hold on, what the fuck? Who got LT? Is he on the field? They were like, yeah, he's actually over there in the corner pocket right there. What? I ain't see him. But it's like, come on, dog. It's like, just play the fucking game. But Tom Brady is not the greatest quarterback to ever play the game of football. To any dick riders of Tom Brady, you heard it here first. If you haven't heard it for maybe the umpteenth time now, he's not the greatest player to have played the game of basketball. I just want you guys to know that. Like, if we're if we're scaling like a top 10, if not a top 20 quarterbacks list, yes, Tom Brady makes the cut, but he's way down there. Like, he's way down there. Anyway, let's keep going.
Have it. Okay, I'm going to have at it because I'm going to have at you because what happened yesterday?
Every person speaking against.
All right, that's for the next video. Now, let's get into the rest of the article. So, Bayless compared Brady playing at the age of 45 to Sharp calling a day when he was 10 years younger. Sharp was not happy. He replied, "That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I get it." He went on. He went on to defend himself strongly, saying, "I did what I did. You make it seem like I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum." Which he wasn't. He wasn't a bum. Shannon Sharp, in no stretch of the imagination, was a bum on that damn field. He did his job. He did the work to improve, and he got cut short. Like, you know what I'm saying? But 35 is an excellent retirement age for any player. Like, you still have your wits about you. You can see Shannon Sharp still has his wits about him. He ain't slurring his words like some of the motherfuckers out there who's been hit all to high heaven, and they got they suffered so many fucking concussions that if you watch the movie Concussion with Will Smith, you'll understand the shit that most of these motherfuckers go through. But anyway, you make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the fucking Hall of Fame. I got 3 Super Bowls. Bayless did not back down. He said, "So what? He's way better than you were." But you got to remember, Skip, around all of Tom Brady's bullshit that he did, such as Deflategate, Spygate, and all this other shit, him deflating footballs and spying on fucking practices and shit like that, just so he can have, an extra added advantage to his game? Like, come on now. Like, the motherfucker cheated. We all called him out for it. The NFL organization knew about the shit, and they did nothing. So, what does that say to you, Skip? That you can't even hit this motherfucker in game because you will get a call put on to where you're going to be riding the bench for the rest of the fucking game. Now, let's put that in perspective. You have a player that is so whack that you create rules around this motherfucker. Like, it makes no sense for you going to bat for this motherfucker as hard as you are, Skip. And it's disgusting. Like, it's really disgusting. Let's move on. The comment only argued Sharp further, and as he tried to speak, Bayless interrupted, leading to the former tight end screaming timeout and throwing his glasses down onto the table. Sharp then said, "You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say he's better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?" Bayless responded by accusing Sharp of disrespecting Brady, which was beneath his co-host's dignity. The heated segment finished with Bayless saying, "I'll support Brady over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever played your game, and it's by far." And Skip is actually lying to himself. I don't know if he's probably in Brady's pocket. Like, Brady probably got Skip Bayless in his pocket. Just like probably most of the NFL, well, not really the NFL, but the refs. The refs are probably in Tom Brady's pocket as well. And it's whack. It's whack. Brady threw 2 interceptions as the Bucs struggled against an impressive 49ers defense. Well, the 49ers defense has always, from my from my recollection, has always been good. Always. Like, there's not one day of football that you will see the 49ers defense play bad, ever. Like, we can't match it up to early 2000s Chicago Bears defense, but we can say that the 49ers defense is pretty fucking good for the time that, you know, they've been noticed for their defensive skills on the field. Like, as far as I can remember, the 49ers defense has been pretty good. So, moving on, although the Bucs remain at the top of the NFC South table. So that ends that. So here's some key takeaways from that argument that happened. If you guys don't remember, when Skip Bayless was on, I believe he was on ESPN with Stephen Coon Smith. Skip Bayless would take personal shots at Stephen A lot when it came to them talking, you know, whatever sport, doesn't really matter. But that's Skip's MO. When they're talking sports, Skip will take a personal shot at you. Like, he doesn't fucking care. For the simple fact that whoever he's going to bat for, whoever his favorite player is at the time, he's going to go to bat for them, for the simple fact that if he likes you as a player, then he's never going to give up the vigor of his argument for anybody. He'll never give that up when it comes to any player that he's talking about. So I say this, Shannon, the next time that happens, just take a personal shot at him about, and it doesn't even have to be true. Just say what I said. He's probably in Tom Brady's pocket. He's probably getting paid by Tom to say the things that he says. So the next time that you guys have an argument about him, just be like, well, you're probably being paid by him. That's the reason why you're taking the stance that you're taking. And let's see him get bent out of shape and get out of control when he argues back at you. So, and we'll see some very good television when that happens. So let's keep going. So our next topic is about Derrick Jaxn. Derrick Jaxn, what's happening? Anyway, Derrick Jaxn announces divorce from his wife, Danae Jackson. So if you guys have been underneath of a rock, relationship guru Derrick Jaxn has announced his divorce from his wife, Danae. The couple inspired hundreds of internet parodies and Halloween costumes. Self-certified relationship guru Derrick Jaxn has reportedly filed for divorce from his wife, Danae Jackson, who recently cursed those criticizing their marriage. And this is what Danae had to say. Take it away, Danae. I'm sorry. Danae, take it away.
Every person speaking against the names Danae Jackson and Derrick Jaxn in mockery, accusations, slanders, and lies, may the mercies of God be withdrawn from you. May your husbands and wives become widows. Let your children become fatherless. Let your seed become vagabonds on the earth. Let the words of your mouth and your words of your hands be returned back to you. Let it go down your throat and choke you slowly until your days become few on the earth. The word of God says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. You've been warned. And if you want to know where that is at in the Bible, go to Psalm 109. Go to Psalm 35. Go to Psalm 140. Go to Psalm 141. And keep our names out of your mouth in the name of Jesus. Have a blessed day.
So a lot of people got bent out of shape for that. About that, because she's using, they were saying, well, how's she going to use the Bible to curse people? Do you not have grandmothers? Like, do you not have grandparents? Old people will curse you the fuck out biblically for the fuck shit that you do on a daily. And they will do it so smooth. They will do it so smooth to where you'll just be sitting there like, all right, grandma. Like I'm saying, man, like, you know, she's a Bible thumper, so she's gonna use the Bible to curse y'all the fuck out. It's just what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So let's get back to it. So Derrick Jaxn, you know, he filed for divorce. So according to Gossip, the Saturday of December 10th news comes less than a month after Danae warned the internet to stay out of their relationship. Media personality Tasha K posted Jaxn in Miami. So this is what she posted. Was this picture right here. So, Jaxn in Miami during Art Basel Week with a mystery woman, prompting Jaxn to announce his divorce. In a lengthy Instagram post, Jaxn said the decision to divorce was made after attempts were made to save their marriage through marital counseling. But let's talk about something real fast before I get into what he said. So people are speculating that this man kept cheating after, you know, that whole thing that happened last year. I think it was like last year in February or whatever, when we finally saw what his wife looked like, and he went on the apology tour of what many YouTubers do when, you know, they get in trouble and, you know, they gotta save face, so they come on camera and be like, you know, I'm sorry to all the people who looked up to me and stuff like that, because I feel as though that y'all should have been put through the stuff that I put you guys through, and, you know, not at all that I love any of these women and stuff like that. It's like, man, grow some nuts, all right? We don't need to know what the fuck you going through with your relationship with your wife. But anyway, so Derrick, he made a Instagram post. So this is what he said. Let me enlarge this for you guys. Sorry, let me switch this up. So Derrick says in his post, he said, over the past several months, my family and I have gone through many changes. Some of you have speculated, while others of you have reached out to offer support as we privately establish this new normal for ourselves and our beautiful children. Earlier this year, after much prayer, counseling, and deep consideration, we decided to go our separate ways and filed for divorce. Making the decision to file was one of the hardest decisions of my life, but I've found peace knowing that our mission of raising healthy children, starting with healthy and whole parents, is still being accomplished. Now let's stop there. We don't know what their relationship is at this point. They could be just following. Look, he only filed for divorce. I hope you guys know that you can make a notion to call off the divorce, because when you meet with divorce lawyers, the first question that they always ask is, how do you guys make this work? So if you make a motion to stop the divorce, if they can come up with ways of how they can make it work, for all we know, this post could be bullshit. After what? This year's almost over. So let's say in, like, I don't know, 6 months time from now, they could probably like, well, we thought about getting divorced. We didn't think that'll be a healthy decision for us, so we decided to not get divorced. So let's take the mystery woman. Then I'll get back to his post. So we don't know who this lady is. We don't know who this lady is. We don't know if this lady just is like a fan and maybe she helped him. I mean, maybe he helped her with finding like a good man. Maybe, I don't know. We just see a picture. We see him with his shirt off, with his chains hanging, and we see her in like a bandana dress and shirt. Like, we don't know who this woman is. We just know that they took a picture together. She's a woman of interest for Tasha K, so she can talk about this man again. And other than that, we just know that he took a picture with a mystery woman. Other than that, we have nothing else to speak of. Anyway, getting back to his statement, he says, From falling in love as just teenagers to becoming spouses and now co-parents, I'm grateful for the years we've spent together and wouldn't trade them for anything. Now, there's a lot of women out there right now saying, well, why the fuck you cheat on her then? Why'd you cheat on her? Like, if you feel this way, you shouldn't have cheated on her. It's like, can y'all chill the fuck out? Like, just because relationships went bad in your life doesn't mean that this lady's relationship was bad. All we know is that this man cheated on her a few times. As do many men do when they're in a state of prominence, when they're public figures, when they have money. A lot of men cheat. So what are you talking about? But black men don't cheat, though. Because who the fuck we gonna cheat on? The fucking system cheats on us. Our woman cheats on us. The fucking, we don't get respect at work or in the streets but by police officers. Who we cheat on? We getting cheated on by the system. Let me quit bullshitting around. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fuck shit. Like, this fuck shit nonetheless. But anyway, let's keep going. Together wouldn't trade for anything. I was blessed to have such an amazing person in my life and will forever be thankful for all she's meant to our family. We ask that if you pray, to please pray for us as we navigate this grieving process. If not, please respect our privacy. And I feel as though that's commendable. You know why? Because we don't know their relationship. So why should we be sitting here talking about, well, he shouldn't have cheated on her and he was all over that girl in that picture and all this. Like, look, we don't fucking know their relationship. So how about we just chill the fuck out? Like, as far as we know, the man got caught, right? He got caught. The wife found out. He probably talked it over with her. She probably came to her senses because she saw the house that they lived in, the cars that they drive, the money that is readily available to her. She probably was like, fuck it, let's work this shit out. Let's see where we can go from here. It probably wasn't a good run of it, so they decided to call it quits. And that's all we need to know. We don't need to know any more other than what the fuck they're allowing us to see. Now, we gotta remember, this is Tasha K who broke the story on him of him getting caught cheating or, whatever. Now she posts the picture, right? She posts this picture. Let me bring that picture back up. She posts this picture of this man, and she doesn't know what the hell happened at that party. From what this is, somewhere in Miami, there was an Art Basel week going on. I don't know who the hell Art Basel is. I don't know if if that's a company, if that's a person, or what they do or what the organization does. I don't know what the fuck they. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me check what Art Basel is as I'm speaking. Art Basel. Well, I should put in what is Art Basel. Art Basel is it's a Art Basel is the leading global platform connecting collectors, galleries, and artists. Art Basel's fair is Basel, Hong Kong, and Miami Beach are driving, and that's all. I'm not about to click into it, but that's what it is. It's an art gallery that I guess is in Hong Kong and in Miami. So he went to a party at Art Basel. He probably saw a fan. She asked for a picture. She got in the picture with him. She probably was with one of her homegirls. He probably was either with his homeboys, if not by himself. And he decided to take the picture with the young lady because she was probably nice about it. And he took the picture, and then Tasha K sees the picture, puts her watermark all over it, and saying this nigga cheating again. It's like, well, bitch, how much money did you pay to Cardi B? Have you paid all of the four million, or are you still waiting to go to court for it? Of which she did file an appeal for her. She filed a motion of appeal just so I guess she can postpone all of this shit so she doesn't have to pay Cardi. But it's like, if this is the person that y'all are getting this information from, and then you all start in a speculation thread on Twitter or Instagram, whatever, just stop. We don't know their relationship. We don't know what the fuck they're going through. But let's keep going. Excuse me. While these words about his former partner seem sweet enough, many wonder if Danae had any knowledge of the separation. This last month, Jaxn posted a video to Instagram warning spectators to stay out of her marriage, which anyone shouldn't be worried about someone else's marriage unless you're, directly connected to it as such as a friend or a family member or so, or a brother or sister. But other than that, we don't know these people. Anyway, let's keep going. They were married for 4 years before their divorce in 2021. The couple faced a scandal that shook up their household. Jackson's mistress, Candace, I don't know how to say this last name, is capital DE, capital MEDEIROS. Something, I don't know. I'm not even going to type it in. It's going to waste time. Anyway. So we'll just say Candace. So Candace said she slept with him on multiple occasions, adding that she'd been inside the home he shared with his wife and children. Danae went on to address the scandal, saying she forgave him, but admits she did leave him. Hold on, she did leave when she discovered the mistress, and we know that. Because she made all those pictures. She made all those posts around that time when she was talking about how she left when she found out he was cheating on her. They spoke about it. They got back together. Everything was cool. Okay, yeah, he did it again. But other than that, it's like, come on now, like. The man had a couple run-ins with some strange pussy, and he decided to get him some. A lot of men do that. I hope women out there are understanding. Hey, all my women audience members, most men do that. Not a lot of them, but most of them do. They see a piece of strange, and it's like, damn, I gotta have that. That's all that it is. It's just a feeling that comes over a man that's, I gotta conquer that. I gotta conquer that pussy. That's all that it is. Hell, my flesh was weak at one point when I cheated on several of my girlfriends. But other than that, all right, it doesn't matter because I was with him for a while after that. And, we all broke up. We all went our own ways. I can't even say that where I'm about to stutter through it. But anyway, we went our own separate ways and everything's cool now. I'm friends with some of them. I dislike most of them and I don't speak to a lot of them. And it's fine. That's the life that we chose to do. And you know who wasn't in that in our relationship? Everyone else. BD says Tasha K and Cardi B both are toxic and deserve to be canceled. That came from a man saying this? Like, no, playing BD. But yeah, I'm saying, man, like, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous what people would choose to be upset about. Such as this next topic I'm about to bring up. Megan Thee Stallion said she initially lied about being shot. Now, if you guys have been underneath of a rock, let's go over something real fast. Now, Megan Thee Stallion was asked by someone if she ever slept with Tory Lanez, if they ever had coitus together. Y'all like that word, don't y'all? Coitus? They had coitus together. She lied to a certain somebody. Let's see what she says when asked if they both had coitus.
Did you have an intimate relationship with him?
Like sexual?
Yeah. Megan, did you have a sexual relationship?
I didn't have a sexual relationship.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
Even Maury took the lie detector test for them, and it came out as a lie. If you guys haven't been paying attention to this story, a lot of people have come out. Well, some people have came out and said that, yeah, I slept with Meg too, such as the baby. What's the basketball player who they said that she slept with? We also got I forgot that nigga's name. He's a rapper. He has an acronym in his name. I forgot the nigga who she was with before. Tory. Her and Tory started, having coitus and messing around together. But what a bitch, though. She wanted her friend to get with Tory Lanez, but she decided to sleep with this nigga. What a bitch. Like, that is just disgusting. Like, how the fuck you gonna sit here and be, you got your, your friend wants to get with this man, and you know what I'm saying, you bigging him up like, yeah, he's such a nice guy. Like, you should really get with him. Like, he's so blah 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 blah. This, and then you go behind your friend back and you sleep with him several times. I'm pretty sure Tory Lanez had that pussy several times. But, shit happens. So, after over 2 years of speculation, my last story on Derrick Jaxn came from BET. This story comes from HNHH. I don't know what the hell that stands for, but after 2 years of speculation in online spats, these two fools, Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, face off in court. HNHH has been tracking the updates of this case since Megan was reportedly shot in the foot in 2020, in July 2020. The circumstances leading up to the incident remain unclear, but as the trial is underway, many revelations are making their way to social media. We previously reported that opening statements have been given Monday, December 12th. Megan has repeatedly argued that Lanez pulled the trigger. However, his defense team has pointed the finger at Meg's ex-best friend, Kelsey Nicole Harris. Excuse me. So they're saying that Kelsey was actually the one who pulled the trigger. Now, I'm no lawyer, and I wasn't there at the scene of the crime or the day in question. But I bet from everyone being drunk in that car except for, I believe, the bodyguard, I believe, and this is my own thoughts before we get into any of these videos and the rest of this article, I believe from the chain of events that happened to where Meg said that Tory Lanez pulled out a gun on her, shot her in the feet, and when we finally seen Meg and she made her statements, she said it was bullet fragments that was in her foot, so she didn't really get shot in the feet. So I'm guessing he missed. He hit the ground and ricocheted. Some of the shards came off, landed in her feet. And you gotta remember, Meg was twerking several days later after getting shot in the feet. So, also with that being said, Meg got upset at her friend Kelsey. They're no longer friends anymore. After that day, she got mad at Kelsey. Kelsey got mad at her as well. And from what the findings are saying is that only Tory and Kelsey had gunpowder residue on their person. So who was shooting the gun? Like, you know what I'm saying? Did Tory shoot the gun? Did Kelsey shoot the gun? Meg was never tested to see if she had gunpowder residue on her. So I say this. Let's just fuck up what the lawyers been saying these past few days. I believe this. That they said that Meg drunk so much at not Kelsey's house, at Kylie Jenner's house, that she passed out on, I guess, the pool furniture or whatever, or the poolside furniture. And after that, she woke up and was asking to leave, and Tory was there. She asked Tory to come with, and then they all left together. Then I guess an argument ensued in the car. She told I guess Tory's driver or his bodyguard to turn the car around so she can go back to Kylie's house so she can get her shoes that she left there, I guess. So story also goes that they get there, and moments later, Kylie is kicking Megan out of the car. No, I'm sorry, out of her house, because Meg was being irate in Kylie's house, which she probably found out that Tory was flirting with Kylie without her having the knowledge of that, which, who cares? Like, what I'm saying? He's a man. He's going to do things that women aren't going to like. He started hiring. He started talking to, I don't know what the fuck's going on with my speech today. He started talking and trying to finesse Kylie out of them draws. Now, Kylie's okay looking. I would try to finesse her out her draws as well if I was into white women, but you know what I'm saying? Like, although she doesn't look like what she's supposed to look like, but I'm saying, like, for what she looks like, Kylie looks all right as, a 20-something-year-old girl. So, her baby daddy got that pussy, so you know what I mean. Why not let Tory Lanez get some of that pussy as well? So Kylie kicks them out. So they get back in the car, they're driving, and then this is when Meg said that Tory pulled the gun out on her. Well, I guess she left the car and Tory pulled up next to her and told her dance bitch and fired 5 shots. And then they're saying Kelsey ran to Meg to help her or whatever, and then Tory comes back or gets out the car and runs towards him and points the gun at him and all this other foolishness. But this is one thing that they're not talking about. This is where I say what actually happened. So everyone's drunk in the car except maybe the bodyguard was drunk as well. Let's put him in this too. So everyone's drunk in the car. There's a gun in the car. Who's to say that Tory Lanez, before him entering into Kylie's house, he didn't take the gun off and put it in the back and put it on the back seat? Who's to say that didn't happen? And who's to say that once he finally realized it was on the back seat, it was far too late because everyone was arguing in the car? And let's say that Meg picked the gun up, right? What's in? Okay, I can use this as a gun. So Meg got the gun, she talking shit, then you know what I'm saying? She has the gun pointed towards her feet, and she not only proverbially, literally, metaphorically shoots her own self in the foot. Because not only did I believe that happened, she lied to the police officers because she said so George Floyd thing was going on and she didn't want to get Tory shot. There's a whole bunch of black people in the car, and she didn't want to die and all this other craziness, and she didn't want anybody else to die. And it's commendable, but it's like, you shot your own self in the foot. Just come out. Like, this whole trial will be a bunch of bullshit if she just comes out and says, I discharged the firearm by accident as I was yelling at both of them, and the bullet got lodged in the car. Some of the fragments shot off and landed in my foot. That's all she got to say. Because that's what I believe that happened. And that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking y'all to believe that. I'm just saying she did it to herself. That's all I'm saying. So let's get to this first video. Third video of the night of this guy goes by the username Lawyer for Workers. He's been given the play-by-play every day of this case. I made sure that I got an actual good source. I didn't get anybody such as Adam22 or DJ Academics talking about this case. I got an actual lawyer talking about this case. So this is what he had to say about what's going on in the case.
Thee Stallion testifying. I'm going to take you through what she testified about in the morning. We're currently on lunch break. She's going to come back and complete her testimony this afternoon. It started with questions about Tory Lanez. She testified that she knew him only for a short time leading up to this incident. They were friends. She was asked, were you intimate? She said yes. She was asked, were you exclusive? She said quite happily no. Then they asked her about her relationship with Kelsey. She said that she's known Kelsey since freshman year of college. How do you know her? How would you describe the relationship? I found her answer very interesting. She said, I quote, we did everything together. They asked her, hey, how do you feel about being here today? She was struggling through the testimony. I was a little surprised at her answer. She said, I don't feel good. I can't believe I have to come do this. Not really sounding like a victim to me.
Now, let's take some things that he said so far. So he says, either the prosecution or the defense. Pretty sure the defense went up for questioning first, and then the prosecution came for cross-examination. So I'm pretty sure when she was asked these questions, she was probably taken aback by them because they're asking her about her personal business. Now, everything's up for grabs when it comes to you being in court. All right? So, by her lying to Gayle King, which was a smart move for her to do because everything was rolling at that point. So, she had to lie to Gayle and everyone else saying, I didn't sleep with him. We didn't have an intimate relationship. We didn't do this. We didn't make coitus or whatever, which is fine. Because it helps you out in the long run by you not running your mouth. But now you're in the seat of all seats. The biggest seat in the nation, which is that examination chair in a courtroom. And now you got to tell the truth. Shit ain't really looking too well for Meg. Shit ain't looking too well for Kelsey because they're saying she's lying on the stand. But let's do this. Let's talk about this real fast before we get back to it. When I said that she lied to the police because this whole George Floyd thing was happening that year and she didn't want to get anybody shot, she lied to the detectives, which I believe that would be a false police report. If she she didn't initiate let me ask Google that question. Is it one second, y'all. Let's see. Well, let's see what this article states. So, if I am asked to meet with officers for a counterterrorism interview, well, I don't know why they got. Okay, well, here's my answer right here. I didn't look up. It says, if you are taken into custody for any reason, you have the right to remain silent no matter. Okay, yeah. Let's see. And remember that it's a criminal offense to unknowingly lie to an officer. So it says, okay. So I'll read that out then. If you're taken into custody for any questioning, you have the right to remain silent no matter what. Assume that nothing you say is off the record. And remember that it is a criminal offense to knowingly lie to an officer. Criminal offense. She lied, and all of them lied to the fucking detectives who went out there to rally everything up and get everything under control. They all lied to the officers. They didn't know who the fuck did what. They didn't see shit. Somehow, I don't know, I forgot that part, whatever. Like, they knowingly lied to officers. So why aren't all of them being put up on some sort of charge? Well, I'm pretty sure they got the money to fight it, but anyway. Let's see what a defense attorney says. It is illegal to lie to the police, a defense attorney explains. It is illegal to lie to the police in some circumstances. It is a crime to lie about your identity to a law enforcement officer during a traffic stop or while being placed under arrest, which they all were. Filing a false police report is also a crime. The most serious offense, however, is perjury, which can be a felony. When when is it illegal to make a false statement to law enforcement? The law against making false statements to police officers is different in every state. However, if you lie to law enforcement, it is generally going to be illegal in the following three circumstances: 1, when proving identity information; 2, when under oath; and when filing a police report or reporting a crime. Details while diverged. Excuse me. Details will diverge in different states. California, however, makes it illegal to lie to police in all three situations. Guess what state they was in? California. Last part. When filing a police report or reporting a crime. Well, they was being taken for questioning, which is a police report. They have the detectives, when they do their paperwork, which is filing a police report, they have to write out everything that was said verbatim. With testimony like that, by them saying, "Well, I didn't know what happened. I ain't see shit. I don't know who shot the gun." Blah 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 blah. They all lied. Which now, since they're on the stand, Megan's telling the truth so she can make herself look good, which is really making herself look bad. Kelsey's pleading the fifth, which we haven't gotten there yet, but we're scooting forward. And Tory has yet to take the stand. So we gotta piece this shit together like Lego blocks at this point. So that's proving identity. I don't need that. Okay. So perjury. Perjury is the crime of deliberately giving false testimony while under oath. In California, prosecutors have to prove that. 1, the defendant took an oath to tell the truth. He or she willingly passed off false information as truthful. The information was material or important. The defendant knew that he or she was making the statement while under oath, and the defendant intended to lie when making the false statement. The range of this crime is further than many people realize. It does not only apply to an ongoing criminal investigation, which was done, grand jury, or criminal court. Many official documents, for example, are filled out and signed under oath. These include driver's license applications, signed affidavits, declarations, or certificates, and depositions. Some of these documents are commonly handed to police officers. As in many of other states, perjury is a felony in California. This is a serious crime. Conviction can carry up to 4 years in prison. Ooh. Filing a false police report. Every state makes it illegal to file false police report of a crime. In California, filing a false police report is a misdemeanor offense. Some other states treat it as a felony in some circumstances. In Michigan, for example, it is a felony to knowingly make a false report of a crime of terrorism to anyone, including to law enforcement. Convictions carry up to 20 years in prison. Defendants may also be held civilly liable for the cost of law enforcement's response to the fake report. What about lying to federal agents? Okay, we haven't gotten there. They didn't talk to federal agents, so let's see. What can you be charged with? A felony for lying to a police officer. Let's get into that. Lying to a police officer is usually a misdemeanor. However, if the false statement was made under oath, it can amount to perjury. This offense is a felony in California. and in many other states. So they just was given, they was being questioned and they was being detained. They wasn't actually being, they wasn't under oath. So let's keep going. When facing a felony offense, it is even more important to establish an attorney-client relationship with a criminal defense lawyer from a local law firm. Their legal advice can help you make informed decisions in your defense strategy. What if I did not intend to lie? All of these offenses require the defendant to knowingly make false statements to the police. Proof that you did not know that the statement was false is a strong defense to one of these charges. An experienced criminal defense attorney can use evidence that you did not knowingly make a false statement or did not intend to lie to fight these serious criminal charges. So, basically, if you lie to police officers, it's a crime. This is even better. This one says, "What if I lied to a police? What if I lied to police about a friend's crime?" Let's read this shit before we get back into the video. Let's see. Making false statements, obstruction of justice, accessory after the fact, perjury, consult with an attorney. So, if you lied to a police officer about a crime your friend committed, you could face significant consequences. As a general rule, you aren't under any obligation to speak with the police. However, if you choose to talk to investigators, it's never a good idea to lie. By lying to the police, you could be charged with one or more crimes of your own. So making false statements in many jurisdictions, it's a crime to make false or misleading statements to the police or public officials. This crime is generally called making false statements. For example, assume that you had a friend who was charged with a DUI. You and your friend had been out drinking the night he was arrested, and when the police learn this, they come to ask you questions. You tell the police that you only saw your friend have one or two drinks, even though you actually saw him have many more. You could be charged with making a false statement. So, obstruction of justice. Lying to the police about a friend's crime can also lead to the two charges of obstruction of justice. What did Meg do? She lied about what she saw and who did what. Also, known as obstruction of law enforcement officers. People commit obstruction of justice when they do anything to hinder, delay, or obstruct law enforcement officials in the performance of their official duties. This includes acts such as destroying evidence or communicating false or deceptive information. So what happened with Meg and everyone else? They lied or they communicated false or deceptive information. Let's keep going. In the above example, assume that the police come to your home to ask you questions about the night your friend was arrested for DUI. They ask to speak to you by name, but instead of admitting who you are, you give them a false name. You could be charged with obstruction of justice. So, somebody's in a pickle. What else do they got here? Okay, none of that other stuff's important. But you heard me read some examples here of some things, and it doesn't seem too good. But let's get back into this video because he has a lot more he wants to say about, I guess, the first and second days of the trial. So let's keep going.
Strong black woman. That's the image that the jury, I think, would have gotten of her. And I expected her to say something more like, I'm here for justice. I'm here to tell my truth. That man shot me. They asked her about when they left the party and when Tory got there. So she explained that initially she had gotten there with a larger group of people. Then later she asked Tory to come. By the time Tory got there, it was a lot fewer people. And then towards the end of the night, they asked her who was left. And she said it was basically just me, Tory, and Kelsey. And then we got in the pool. Then she said that when they were in the pool, her wig started getting loose. It was coming off. She felt uncomfortable, so she wanted to leave. She told Kelsey. Her and Kelsey went to the driver and said, hey, we want to leave. And this brings up the first point of contention where, according to Meg, the driver said, I won't leave without Tory. Now, obviously, Tory's team says Meg said she won't leave without Tory. And then the person actually, the defense attorney asked, well, why didn't Tory want to leave? And everybody was waiting for the answer to that question because that's the whole Kylie Jenner angle. Unfortunately, defense objected. The judge said sustained. She didn't answer the question, why didn't Tory leave? The whole situation in the car. She testified that, hey, look.
Wait a minute. Does the Kardashians have judges and lawyers in their pocket? Because this is a good question. And this is why. Will we see Kylie Jenner become, what do they usually call that person? Do they call it a mystery witness or a, I forget what they call it, but usually with trials like this, they'll usually bring in a witness that can give their testimony on what, of what their recollection was of what they know about the situation. Will they be calling Kylie Jenner in for questioning about what happened at the party and what happened when they came back to her house? Will they be asking Kylie these questions? Or will they be having Kylie come to court at all? Because, excuse me, I keep burping. My main question is this. Do Kylie Jenner and does the Kardashians have judges and lawyers in their pockets to where we may never see Kylie take the stand? Gotta remember, Kylie Jenner is basically a key witness. Not of what happened after the fact of them leaving her house, but she's in it. She's in it quite a bit. Because they said that she had a lot of alcohol at her house. They were at her house drinking, and then that happened. She's responsible in some sorts. Although everyone is of age, of drinking age, but gotta remember, if you're throwing a party at your house, this goes for everybody. If you're throwing a party at your house and you got alcohol readily available, the number one question is going to be for a detective is, well, where was he when he got drunk? If they find out, if they take his picture all over the city of California, or, let's say that, Meg got shot by Tory and we didn't know that she got shot by Tory or whatever. The number one thing that they would have asked Meg was, where were you when you got shot? Or who were you with when you got shot? If she automatically says, I was with rapper Tory Lanez and my friend and his bodyguard, then those are all of the people that are involved. Now, they'll say, well, were you guys coming from somewhere? Or were you guys, out somewhere? And if she says, yeah, we was at Kylie Jenner's house drinking all night, then Kylie Jenner is a witness in this. But like I said, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know most things when it comes to law. I just know what most black people know when it comes to law, and that's don't break it.
We all got in the car. I got out. An argument started to break out. Basically, Tory started the argument. I was shocked when she dropped and admitted that this argument started with Tory saying to Meg, hey, why are you snaking your friend like this? And basically revealing that he had hooked up with both of them, that they had been cheated on by him. And this sort of led into the whole big fight. At one point, she gets out of the car, but then she did get back in because they convinced her to get back in. And then we get to the shooting. And here, there was some shocking stuff. So here's some of the key stuff. One, Meg described that, hey, look, I got out of the car, I looked back over me, and then I saw Tory holding a gun, pointing it at me, and he shot me after he said, dance, bitch. But then, this is the prosecution asking the questions, and even in the prosecution asking the questions, she said stuff that makes you scratch your head, which leads you to believe that what's going to happen under cross-examination. The prosecution asked her this: where was Kelsey when Tory was doing the shooting? You know what Meg said? Meg said, I didn't see Kelsey. I only saw Tory. Question: was she in your field of vision? Because I mean, she's right there. Where was she? If you can't answer that question, that doesn't seem like it adds up, especially not in a case where the theory from the other side is that there was a struggle and that Kelsey was the one who let off the gun. If the victim can't tell you where Kelsey is, that seems highly problematic to me. The other parts of the testimony that were a little bit confusing is they asked her, where was Tory? Was he standing on the car? Was he standing on the ground? And she said, well, he was shooting up over the window, but I don't know if he was standing on something. And they asked her, how tall is he? She said, I think he's like 5'3" or 5'4". He's taller than that, but that's not tall enough to shoot over the window of an Escalade while standing on the ground. And then they asked her, hey, was he on the passenger door, or was he on the front door or the back door? That's what she said. He's on the passenger side. And they were like, all right, well, was it the front door or the back door? She said, I don't. The other part of her testimony that I found a little confusing, it didn't mesh with what the prosecutor said in his opening. The prosecutor said in his opening that Kelsey went to where Meg was, and that after Kelsey went to where Meg was, after Meg had been shot, that Tory was approaching them. Meg's testimony today was different. Meg's testimony was not that she got shot, she went away, and then Kelsey went to where she was, and then Tory came at the two of them. No, Meg's testimony is she got shot, she went away, and then she saw Kelsey and Tory both coming to them. Again, does not add up. We finished with, why did you not tell the police the truth? And this was very interesting, whereas typically prosecutors are in the business of supporting police officers. Here, they elicited testimony where Meg said, look, I didn't tell the police the truth because this was around the time George Floyd had been shot, and I thought if I told them the truth, they were going to shoot Tory. I didn't feel safe with the police. And I thought this was kind of weird, but she said it. She said, I'm a member of the black community, and in my community, we don't cooperate. What do I think?
Open shut case, people. Because obviously this girl doesn't understand where the fuck she's at. Megan. Matter of fact, I'm gonna talk to you like your lawyers and them is talking to you. Miss P, do you not understand what you're doing right now? You're under oath. By you saying you don't know things and all this, although you were drunk, you still have your cognitive reasoning by actually knowing where someone was at the time of shit happening. Now, let's take something into consideration. She says, I'm a part of the black community. Black people usually don't cooperate with police officers like that. Are you fucking kidding me? Why is that even something that you bring up in court? Like, that, oh my gosh. This is... Let's keep going. Fuck this.
That the rest of the direct testimony is going to come out. It will be interesting. I think the defense attorney has a lot of room. Hey, what's up, bro? I think the defense attorney has a lot of room to poke holes in the story. And I think the rest of the witnesses are going to say things that the defense attorney is going to have to show that it doesn't all add up. that if Kelsey was right there, how is Meg Thee Stallion going and telling you that when I turned around and I saw Tory shot me, I have no idea where Kelsey was?
All right. So continuing with this article, according to reports, both Lanez and Harris tested positive for gunshot residue, leaving a seed of doubt to be planted if the defense team gets its way. Several courthouse reporters have been sharing real-time updates, causing a firestorm of reactions. Lanez denies being the shooter. Tweeted reporter Nancy Dillon. Megan will testify, and it is adamant she saw Lanez fire. So let's get to the next thing.
All right, we wrapped up the first day of Tory Lanez trial testimony. Let me tell you what happened at the end of the day. This will be a two-parter. On this first part, let's cover what prosecutors believe is their key piece of evidence after the testimony they expect to get from Meg and the other woman who's in the car. So here's the prosecutor's point, that there's a jailhouse phone call. Reminder to everyone, when you get arrested and you're sitting in jail, they are listening, they are recording. What you say on that phone will be used against you. According to prosecutors, Tory calls the other woman who was in the car, Kelsey, and basically admits to shooting and apologizes profusely to her. The problem with that theory, according to the defense, is that, well, he never says he shot her. He's just apologizing profusely, and he could be apologizing for a lot of things. According to the defense.
Now, that was in the text message that the defense says that Tory sent to Megan the day after. He kept texting her like, I was super drunk last time, I'm so sorry, like blah, 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 this, and that. I believe they said they tried to, this is what Megan said in that Instagram live that she did, when she said that he tried to offer her money when it comes to him shooting her, allegedly, right? So this is all through the text message or whatever that you guys can look up online.
The apology is for basically blowing up Kelsey's spot and revealing that he had been in a relationship with both of them. What side will the jury believe? It's way too early in the evidence. That call.
Now, what he's talking about is when they were in the car, what started this entire thing was, so I'm guessing Meg gave Kelsey the go ahead, like, go ahead, girl, like, get your man or whatever, blah, 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 blah. So with that, I'm guessing some shit happened in the car to where Tory turns around to Meg and says, well, how the fuck you gonna say that if you trying to encourage your girl to get with me and you sleeping with me behind Kelsey's back? And the whole entire fucking car erupted after that. That's the reason why I said that's when Meg grabs the gun, starts talking shit to Tory, like, that's the reason why your music whack and all that. She then points the gun down because I'm pretty sure the bodyguard was trying to get her to calm down because she did probably did have the gun in her hand. And when she, I guess, was talking shit to him, you know how black people, when they get too into what they talk about when they're fighting, like when they talking shit, they start to like buck at him. I believe whenever she bucked at Tory, that's when she squoze, past tense, that's when she put her finger on the trigger and pulled it and shot it in the car, and that's how the fragments entered into her feet. That's what I think of what happened. That's just what I'm saying. Let's keep going.
Own means nothing. In fact, the evidence that was presented was through a detective. They asked that detective, hey, when did you listen to this jailhouse call? What can you tell us about it? He basically said, I heard it last week. They asked me to go retrieve it from the system. I retrieved it. I'm playing it here for y'all today. What does it mean? What does he mean? What's he talking about? I don't know that from that, so I couldn't really tell you, and he can't. And the jury is going to be looking at the rest of this evidence to really decide that, hey, man, when this guy's calling Kelsey and saying, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, what's he talking about? All right, we're back with the rest of the update.
Before he goes on, do you think Kelsey is in Tory's pocket? You gotta remember, Kelsey and Meg ain't friends no more. So she also pled the fifth, which let's get into that before we go forward. I'm pretty sure he'll talk about it, but let's just look up what our Fifth Amendment right is. Our Fifth Amendment right is no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject to the same offense to be. So, one thing that I take away from this, probably the reason why she is pleading the fifth, Kelsey, talking about Kelsey Harris. This part right here, why she pled the fifth, this is what I believe. When in actual, hold on, sorry. Oh, in actual in public danger. This is what I believe Kelsey feels as though that she's under if she does say anything on the stand, or when she did give her testimony, that she felt as though that she was in public danger would cause her to say, well, I like to invoke my Fifth Amendment right to not say anything for immunity. But I believe they allowed that, but could you just give us something for the case? And she went up there and she basically said all of nothing the whole entire time she was up there. So that is that. So let's keep going.
Tory Lanez. So we are taking our afternoon break. There's going to be more testimony at the end of the day. But right now, let me catch you up on what's happened since lunch. The defense continued and concluded their opening statement. They confirmed that their theory of the case is going to be that Kelsey was the shooter. Tory was just trying to break up the fight. Then the prosecution went up. They put on a police officer as their first witness. This is the police officer who arrived at the scene of the shooting. He testified about how he saw gun casings, blood spatter. This was a big mistake, in my opinion, because the defense attorney ended up tearing this police officer's testimony to shreds. He basically got the officer to admit that they did not use the proper evidence markers to mark and identify the location of every piece of evidence. So the police cannot tell you where blood was found exactly in relation to the gun casings, where, based on the trail of blood, the victim would have walked around. They can't tell and paint the whole story of what happened when the person got out of the car. Why, if you can't paint that story, why, if you didn't use the evidence markers, why, if you purportedly have a very simple case, did you waste your time making your first witness a police officer whose testimony is going to get torn to shreds by the defense attorney? Big mistake in my opinion.
Now that's interesting. Because who the fuck are the cops working for at this point? Because if Tory shot the gun by the car like they said that he did, then there would be shell casings on the ground near the car. Then within the day in question, they said that Tory walked up to both Kelsey and Megan. Well, Miss Pete right now, because anyway, she walked up to him and whatever, and it's like come on now, like, how as detectives y'all ain't marking down evidence? Like, you got blood spatters from Megan's feet and you got shell casings. things, and then let's think about what's going on in the car. Is there any evidence in the car? But how's it that Kelsey and Tory both tested positive for gunshot residue if no one knows who shot the gun? Let's keep going.
If you ask me, from here going forward, the defense will always be able to point out that the government's investigation is completely incapable of telling the jury about the movement of the victim outside of the car. So if you're trying to inject reasonable doubt, alternative theories, you've now done a great job setting it up that the government's story has holes in it. Breaking the Tory Lanez trial, we had opening statements. Opening statements are still actually going. We had to pause midway through for lunch. Better than TV. If you watch the prosecution's opening statement, you would say guilty. If you then watch the defense's opening statement, you would say, what the hell is the prosecution thinking, charging him? Basically, the prosecution started with this story. They said that, hey, they're all at the party, and Tory is leaving the party with Meg. They're in the car. An argument breaks out, during which Meg says and insults his skills as a rap artist. This leads to a situation where she gets out of the car, and he shoots at her feet and yells, "Dance, bitch." And then she ends up at a hospital, and a doctor takes out 3 fragments of bullet wounds from her foot. Now, if you just, and the prosecution says that Kelsey, the other woman in the car, is going to testify that Tory shot Meg. And Kelsey has a text message where she texts somebody that, hey, Tory shot Meg. And then the rest of the prosecution's case is based on all these calls and texts where Tory's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so drunk. He never says that I shot him. He's like, oh, I'm just so sorry. I'm so drunk. So question what he's apologizing for. So that's the prosecution's case. Seems pretty easy. Then the defense comes up, and man, it gets spicy. First, the defense goes, they're not telling you about half of what's going on. The most important thing they're not telling you about an eyewitness who saw 2 women fighting, Kelsey and Meg. And so let's talk about why them 2 are fighting. Let's talk about how she was in the front seat. The gun was caught in the front seat. Let's talk about how she might have gunpowder. She does have gunpowder. Let's talk about how this has nothing to do with the fight between Tory and Meg and everything to do with the fight between Meg and Kelsey. And then the defense starts dropping the bombs. He basically says this, that they're in the car. Yeah, they left. But do you know why they left? They left because Kylie and Tory were in the pool together. And Kelsey and Meg both felt some type of way about that, to the point that Meg felt really some type of way about that. And she was really trying to go, to the point that eventually, because of how Meg is acting, this is according to the defense, Kylie Jenner goes to Meg Thee Stallion and says, it's time for you to leave. They all leave. The defense's point is what happens in the car is this. Tory questions Kelsey, hey, Kelsey, why are you backing up Meg for me trying to, get it on with Kylie Jenner? Meg has been snaking men from you your whole life. I hooked up with you, Kelsey, and then Meg went behind your back and hooked up with me. And Kelsey,
Hold up, this deserves this. Yeah.
Oh, hell no!
Man, like, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Let's keep going.
not the first time. You had been hooking up with Ben Simmons. Meg went behind your back and hooked up with Ben Simmons. You had been hooking up with the baby. Meg went behind your back and hooked up with the baby. And so the defense starts dropping all these grenades. The crowd is captivated. The jury's like, oh, what's going on? And there's every reason to believe that.
Now you gotta remember, the baby, in his new album, I believe they said it's his first song, he talks about how he slept with Megan Thee Stallion. And then you remember she came out with, I believe it was a Instagram post, if not a Twitter post, saying that he was lying. But, you know, they then, now we see what was true and what wasn't true. We know that now that the whole baby thing was true. They slept together, and then this is the crazy part. I don't even know if I have this in my show, but they say that not Tory, sorry, Megan Thee Stallion's boyfriend, Parday, or whatever the hell the homeboy's name is, Party, or whatever his name is embarrassed for her now that she slept with so many men. And what, Meg's been famous for what, like 5-6 years now? Well, she really didn't start hitting her stride until what, her 2000, I guess whenever like the Body Yaddy Yaddy song and all that came, I think that's when she like became real famous. Like that one song she had, Big Old Freak, like that put eyes on, but like that song was hot at the time too. But I don't believe that started like her whole fandom and all that. And then, you know, Wet Ass Pussy got real hot because of how absurd the song title was. And, you know, her and Cardi B, you know, became, I guess, household names after that, you know, by having some wet ass pussy.
There could have been a fight here, not between Tory and Meg, but between Meg and Kelsey. And the shooting could have not been Tory. It could have been done by any one of the other people in that car. What does all of this mean? Well, I'll tell you a couple things. First, Corey Gamble, Kris Jenner's husband, is going to testify, so this will continue to be must-see TV. Two, the judge is terrific. I expect a very fair trial. The lawyers on the defense side are terrific. I don't know what the government lawyer was doing, giving an opening presentation that made it seem like the most open and shut case ever, when in fact there are huge questions, including an eyewitness who saw two women fighting, suggesting that you have to explain that theory to the jury, and you didn't. So I don't love the prosecution's opening in that regard. Stay tuned. We'll have the full coverage here. It's up and it's stuck in the Tory Lanez trial.
He ain't shit for that. Anyway, let's keep going. According to reports, both Lanez and Harris tested for gunshot residue, leaving a seed of doubt to be planted if the defense team gets its way. Several courthouse reporters. Oh, I read that already. I'm sorry. Lane's attorney plans to present the theory Meg's former best friend, Kelsey Harris, could have discharged the gun. Both Lanez and Harris tested positive for gunshot residue. It travels in small spaces. I guess that's a statement from the detectives, I guess. So moving on, Harris is also due to testify. Which she added, Lanez just walked into the courtroom holding hands with his young boy, who appeared to be his son. Couldn't get a good look. Media lined up to the side. Lanez also was accompanied by his father. Not clear how long the child will stay. Judges typically restrict kids under 10 for being in a courtroom. Dylan also wrote that Harris will testify that she saw her close friend get shot by the defendant. So
Day 2 of the trial is in the books. Meg Thee Stallion has finished testifying. Let me catch you up on what happened in the afternoon session. It started with the prosecutor leading with this. She said, "Hey, Meg, I know we went a little fast this morning. I want to slow down." And Meg said, "Yeah, I was a little nervous." And then Meg actually said, these are her words, she said, "I want to feel strong. I want to come off strong," and I didn't. And then she proceeded to testify, and she did come off a lot stronger and a lot more sure of herself in the afternoon session. There were powerful moments talking about "he shot me," talking about the pain and the trauma and the emotion this whole situation has caused her, talking about how she initially did not want to do this. She wanted to try to protect Tory. And so there were very powerful moments of the testimony. She explained that ultimately she did decide to go to the police and say that Tory was the shooter because of the false narratives that Tory had put out there. In her mind, she felt like she was a grown woman. She shouldn't have been hanging out with these people, getting involved in this mess. I'm not quite sure who these people that she was referring to when she was like, "Oh, I shouldn't be hanging out with them." She was hanging out with like Kylie Jenner, her assistant, Tory Lanez. So I guess she just meant Tory. I thought that statement was very indicative about how Meg feels about this whole situation, which is basically that she did nothing wrong. She had nothing to do with this mess, and she just wants to be completely removed from the whole situation. She denied that Kylie Jenner told her to leave. She denied that the security guard, and Kelsey had at one point left and then came back because she said, I want to go back to get Tory. She said that it was the security guard who wouldn't leave without Tory, and that's why she was there. But at the same time, she also admitted that she didn't want to leave without Tory. So again, there was a lot of this. She just didn't want to say anything that made her image look bad, and I don't know why. She denied that there was any sort of relationship between Kelsey and Tory, which could have led to her being accused of going behind Kelsey's back. And in the car, she admits that in the car, Kelsey accused her of going behind her back. So I don't know how she's denying that there's no relationship between. The defense attorney asked her, hey, what did Kelsey mean when Kelsey said that this isn't the first time you've gone behind my back? And Meg said, oh, I don't know. Then we get to the shooting sequence, and I think the defense attorney did a really good job here focusing on the fact that, hey, did Meg Thee Stallion actually see who was shooting the gun? I don't think there's any doubt that 5 shots rang out. The question is, who pulled the trigger? Was somebody pointing at her, and who? The defense attorney established this, that Meg is in the front seat, front passenger, that Kelsey is directly behind Meg, and that Tory is in the rear passenger seat. He got Meg to testify this. Meg gets out of the car. She walks a couple steps to the front of the car by the absolute front. And then she goes a couple steps beyond that. All of this took a couple seconds. Within that time, apparently, Tory Lanez has made it from the rear passenger seat to now being on the passenger side. And from the passenger side, he pulls out a gun. She said he pulled the gun. From where, it's not clear, but he pulled the gun. He points it at her and shoots 5 times. Right before shooting, he yelled, dance bitch, leading her to turn around and then see him with the gun. He pulls it, points, shoots, 5 shots. Where's Kelsey in all this? She has no idea. What does she then do? She then crawls away. The part that the defense attorney focused on is how, in a matter of seconds, does he get from the rear passenger to having a gun in his hand to being on the passenger side in position to shoot over the window at you, all in a matter of seconds. To me, there had to be something else that happened in that sequence of events from the time she got out of the car and the time the shots rang out. And then she completely denied that there was any sort of altercation between her and Kelsey. As to whether there was an altercation between Kelsey and Tory, and there has to be some altercation because there's a fingernail on the ground and there's jewelry on the ground. And so and Kelsey has blood on her. Kelsey has her swimsuit strap ripped off. So how did that all happen? And apparently there was a bump. She says that I saw a bump between Tory and Kelsey, and I guess the prosecutors will use that to establish why Kelsey has got her strap ripped and jewelry on the floor broken and a fingernail lying on the middle of the street. Bottom line, her testimony was strong, it was powerful, it was a victim telling you that a man shot her. All right, so from here, I think there's 2 important issues with this case. One, what are the other witnesses going to say? What's the driver going to say? What's Kelsey going to say? And what is the witness? There was a homeowner who lived there, who was in the house that is very close, very adjacent to where all of this is unfolding. He would have seen and heard a lot. He's going to testify. The other thing, the defense did a really good job of establishing that, hey, Meg's timeline here of in a few seconds, Tory gets out of the rear passenger, gets onto the passenger side of the vehicle, yells, dance bitch, pulls a gun, lets out 5 shots. That there could have been a lot more that happened there in that sequence, because that's a lot of things happening in a very small amount of time. And it is not clear from Meg's testimony that a jury would go ahead and say, oh yeah, that man pulled a gun and he was shooting out. I could see the jury looking at that testimony, looking at that sequence of events, saying that doesn't add up and that means reasonable doubt, or looking at it and saying, well, okay, maybe something happened here, but did this guy intentionally pull a gun and shoot at this woman? No, maybe there was another shooter, maybe there's another explanation of how those gunshots rang out.
All right, hold up, y'all. Just found something on Twitter. The Daily Loud says that LAPD criminologist Randy Zapita told the jury he tested the gun that was used in Megan Thee Stallion shooting for DNA and did not find any traces of Tory Lanez's DNA on the weapon. That's crazy. Let me see what they're saying in the thread, though. So basically it came back inconclusive or whatever, right? So one person says he wiped it. Not that hard, doesn't even make sense. that no DNA was found on his gun because it was his gun. That's like walking into someone's house and finding no prints. That was a bad take, but you said he wiped it with what? Lysol? New DNA wipes with Lysol's new DNA wipes. Shaking my head silly. You can't. You can wipe fingerprints. You can wipe fingerprints and bleach. Wipe would remove some evidence, but with the amount of crevices on a firearm, it could easily be tested. They would also have found that on the weapon if that's the case. So someone else writes, it literally belongs to him. His DNA does not have to be on it. That's like them finding a body in my house, but I don't have my DNA on it. Y'all really saying something. What you say? Hold on. Y'all really saying anything? Look at the pinned tweet. Oh shit, I left the thread. Hold on. Someone else says, LOL, if God says he didn't do it, women will say God know he did it, but God has something else in store to punish him. Someone else says, you people can lie. And the person shows a picture of cheaper than dirt gun magazines. I don't know why she put that up there, but in that post, the person writes, I want people to know that they gun magazine is where the bullets are loaded and not the actual gun. Where his DNA would be if he held the gun. I don't know what that means anyway. The person writes underneath of the person's post who posted the post of someone else says his DNA would be on the grip as well as the clip. If you didn't find any on the grip, chances are you ain't on the clip, and the DNA could be there since he loaded it, which there's no proof on when it could have been a year ago. Could have been a year ago for all they know, instead of sitting on one side of the story. Okay, I guess he writes something else. He also writes, just wait, the case is done and see who's guilty instead of holding a bias because you like the other artists. Actually cringe the shit people come up with because their fave artist is in a scandal. Laughing my ass off. So someone else says, they said it was inconclusive due to the amount of different fingerprints. And someone else writes, these niggas don't know what inconclusive means. LOL. Half of them don't have a GED. All right, I'll read a few more, then we'll get back into the video. Or we'll get to the article. Sorry. Megan lied. Someone else says, kinda, but not really. It was Kelsey, since Meg didn't actually see her shoot her. She thought it was Tory. So people need to learn how to fucking proofread. So her saying it was him isn't exactly a lie, but since she didn't see it all, it's definitely see it all. It definitely is not true. I need to see the thread on Didn't she start crying in an interview about it? That was on her sleeping with Tory, which like, come on, she did. What else led to all of this happening? Which is a good take. Why would one person be so upset at somebody if they didn't sleep together, right? She said that they didn't sleep together, right? So since she said they didn't sleep together, and she had no, they didn't perform coitus, how is it that she got so upset at Tory for him flirting with Kylie? If no, I can understand like a homegirl, like a girl getting upset that a dude didn't want to talk to her homegirl. I can see that. That makes more sense than what the fuck's going on in this trial. Like that makes a lot of sense because of this reason. Like, let's say Meg was trying to set Tory up with Kelsey, and she was speaking good things to him and all that, and she propositioned him, saying, "Hey, just in case, you don't like her, just come fuck with me or whatever." Matter of fact, come get this pussy now. Come get this wet ass pussy now. And then that's how her and Cardi B came with the name of WAP. So, moving on. Moving on. This will be the last one. Or this will be the last couple things that I read in the thread. So, something's not right because I know he did it. We just need more time. I'm going to be behind my stallion until the end. And that's a nigga saying that shit too. Never mind, it's a girl, sorry. So somebody, internet's undefeated. So somebody made a meme of what this person said, but with each part is a dude putting on clown makeup. Holy shit. Fuck it. That'll be my last one that I read because that was actually funny. Alright, so which one did we just get done watching? Okay. So, a prosecutor also showed a visual of a series of text messages that Kelsey Harris sent Megan's bodyguard about 5 minutes after the shooting. They read, "Help! Tory shot Meg at 911. Lanez claimed Megan was in a drunken, jealous tirade that caused Kylie Jenner to kick her out of a party. Lanez reportedly left with Megan, but on the ride home, an argument escalated. During the drive, Lanez allegedly revealed he and Megan slept together behind Harris's back, and the two women turned on one another." Now, let me stop there because it doesn't go too far from what I said earlier when I said that Megan shot her own self in the foot. This is why I said that, because of this. Meg woke up drunk. Well, she went to bed drunk and she woke up drunk at the party. So by her still being, fucked up and having the truth serum in her, she started talking shit to Kelsey probably Tory tried to calm the situation down because he knew he was going to sleep with either one of them any damn way. So he was like, well, let me calm this shit down so it don't fuck my pussy up tonight. So he tried to, calm everything down. Meg probably was like, back up, nigga. That's the reason why your music whack, you whack ass nigga, and kept arguing with Kelsey. So Kelsey probably felt some type of way that she was talking shit, and by her response, Tory was like, well, how the fuck you gonna sit there and say that bullshit if you try and hook me up with your girl and you sleeping with me behind her back? And that's what caused everything to happen. Like I said, the gun probably was on the back seat. So if the gun was probably on the back seat, Meg looked in a drunken rage, picked up the gun, and said, nigga, shut the fuck up. Not knowing that the gun was off its safety and probably didn't know how to fucking operate the damn thing. She probably pointed it down towards her feet as she was talking shit and pulled the trigger by accident and shooting herself in the foot. Metaphorically, literally, proverbially, and what was the other one that I said? Metaphorically, proverbially, literally, and actually in her foot. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole bunch of shit. So let's keep going. Harris then allegedly admitted that Megan did the same in the past with the baby and Ben Simmons. Ooh, the plot gets thick. After Harris dated them both, Lane says Megan demanded the car be pulled over. But we're not going to gloss over that. Hold on. So is Kelsey sleeping with all of the guys that actually Megan wants to be with or sleep with? So is Megan encouraging or was Megan encouraging Kelsey to talk to these men just so, they will know who, Meg's my girl. We've been friends since freshman year of college. Like, I mean, we should all hang out sometime. I really like you, whatever. I like your music, whatever. I like how you dunk basketballs. And Megan's like, all right, cool. The plant's there. I can talk to these niggas at any point in time that I want to. Just saying this for my homegirl, and I can fuck these niggas whenever I want to. And case closed. So, let's see. Where was that? Find my spot. Okay. Layton says Megan demanded the car be pulled over, jumped out of the vehicle, and she and Kelsey engaged in a physical fight. Okay. That's new to us. A witness who lived nearby claimed he saw the fight take place. However, no, hold on, wait. Now, by fight, what does the neighbor mean? A verbal fight or they said physical fight. But, he probably ain't we probably can't trust his testimony. But it says physical fight, but was it an actual physical fight? Were they pulling hair and smacking each other and punching each other on the ground and being loud? Or was they just having a verbal fight where it got physical, where they started either pushing each other or, saying, bitch, back the fuck up, or I'm gonna punch you in your face? Like I said, we wasn't there. Plus, that part of the video wasn't being shown. So anyway, a witness who lived nearby claimed he saw the fight take place. However, the prosecution states otherwise. During its opening statement, the prosecution alleged Harris followed Megan to help her, and Lane's close behind. When he loomed, Harris walked towards Lane's to stop him from approaching, and that's when he punched Kelsey and pulled her to the ground by her hair. Reports no jumper. Now, we can't trust no jumper because he has a whole fucking thread here on Twitter that I don't know if it can be trusted. So I'm not going to it. Lanez allegedly told both women to get back in the vehicle, and they did. Now let's stick to that, because you gotta remember, it's a pompous, probably left-leaning neighborhood, swanky neighborhood with all these rich fucks that live there. They're being loud and niggerish in a white neighborhood, which will have people looking out the windows like, what's this commotion going on outside? You know what I'm saying? What is this commotion? And let's say they did get into a physical fight after having an argument with each other. And then let's say Tory probably pulled Kelsey off of her, but his hand slipped and he caught her hair, which caused him to drop her of getting off of Meg, let's say. And her wig came off. Her wig came off. And you know what I'm saying? Like, then, all this other fuck shit happened, and there you go. But we don't know. We weren't there. Plus, that person who shot the video of Meg limping and bleeding, he doesn't have that part of the video available to us right now anyway. So, let's keep going. While in the SUV, Harris sent Megan's bodyguard a series of short text messages. Upon arrival, police discovered a warm firearm in a slide lock position. Wait a minute. If the gun was at a slide lock position, then that means that the slide of the gun. Everybody, give me 5 seconds. Just give me 5 seconds, all right? All right. So, let's say that the gun was in. Hold on. So, let's say that the gun was in a slide lock position. Then that means that the slide was back and the barrel of the gun was being shown. So, it was a warm gun. And the slide lock was in a locking position, which means that the barrel was shown and the slide was pulled back. Now, I'm not going to do that to my gun because I got a bullet in here, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep myself safe. But nonetheless, they found the gun shot. So was the gun... We also have to put in perspective if the gun accidentally got shot while being put away either by Tory or by the bodyguard. All right? Because we don't know. We just know that Meg got shot in the foot. Now, it's a possibility that could have happened as well. But I like my prediction better. You know what I mean? That she took the gun herself and shot her own self in the foot. But anyway, let's keep going. While in the SUV, I said that already, warm firearm with the slide in a slide lock position. Prosecutors also reportedly told the court they have audio of Tory's call from jail to Kelsey. He apologized profusely. We'll keep you updated as more, or I'll keep you updated as more information is shared. It has been stated that Megan is slated to take the stand on Wednesday, December 14th. Which she brings up when she took that stand that she was dealing with suicidal thoughts and depression after all that happened and all that other craziness, because I don't know, because when we watched that Good Morning America interview with Megan Thee Stallion and Gayle King, she said the same thing as well, that she doesn't really have many friends after her mom died. She didn't know who to trust anymore. So the reason why her and Tory became friends is because he lost his mom to cancer as well, and they became real close friends, and whatever, blase, blah, right? So it could be anything. It could be anything of what happened. So let's get some more information, and I'll get y'all on out of here, unless y'all want to come up and speak, which you can. We can talk about these topics that I presented tonight. Come on up if you want to. You could come up now until I end this. Just make sure that you follow the rules, which is you got to be on camera at all times. If you don't want to be on camera to the public, that is fine. There's a private chat back here. Let me know if you do or if you do not want to be on camera, and I'll make sure I'll get that going. And please silence all background noise if you can. And while you're doing that, like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you are new here. All right? So let's get to it.
For the final day of the first week of the Tory Lanez trial, the prosecution is expected to put on witnesses. They're going to play a whole tape of Kelsey's recorded interview with the police. I'm not sure how significant that's going to be. Here are the witnesses who I think will be significant. Now, I expect the prosecution to call the only sort of completely partial outside witness to this incident, and that is the resident of the home near where the gunshots went off. That individual said he heard things. He said he saw the muzzle go off when the woman was near the gun. He said he saw what appeared to be two women fighting. If the prosecution does not call this man as a witness and they leave it to the defense to call him, that tells me a lot, that the prosecution is not putting on the truth. They're just putting on an extremely one-sided version of the story. I expect them to call him. The other witness that's very interesting is the police officer, Detective Stogner, the lead investigator in this case. The prosecution is not calling him to testify because they're saying that he's on administrative leave. The defense is saying, wait a second, he's not on administrative leave. First, you told me he's getting terminated. Now you're telling me he's on administrative leave. The defense is obviously building the case that this was a shoddy investigation, that we need to know about why this guy's not available, not testifying, why he was either fired or on administrative leave. Who is this guy and what did he do in this case? Here's the thing with Gunner. Look, the internet, you're right about something, but you don't understand it all. Look, you're right. He can say, hey, I'm not going to testify. My statement can't be used against other defendants, but he can get called to testify and he has to testify truthfully and he can't contradict the stuff that he said in his plea statement. Okay, that's all facts. But how do you know that the DA didn't offer him this deal because his case is the weakest case they got? And when you take the trial, you don't want to take that weak case to trial and look silly. So let's cut bait on this weak case, go forward with our strong claims. How do you know that didn't happen? The other part, when he testifies about what he did truthfully, look at this crime. They're alleging what he did was in a car. The cops found everything in the car and they found Young Thug in the car. Yeah, he said it's not his, but he was going to say that at trial anyway. So I don't know that he's really snitching on Young Thug there. He was going to say it's not mine in the trial. The other thing that you don't understand is you don't know how that testimony's going to come out. He's going to say, bro, I rapped about this group. I might have read about the group. I might have seen the group in the papers. He doesn't know anything about the group's crimes that he has to so it's way too soon. You haven't seen the whole story. You have to let this unfold. And stop calling the man a snitch. There's levels to this shit. Would you treat someone the same who does a robbery with you and then the moment the cops...
I know a lawyer didn't say that shit. Let's keep going.
They just point the finger at you versus someone who's one out of 28 people in a RICO charge where they're claiming that, hey, this guy sang about the gang in a song, and they're not even saying whether this guy knows anything about what the gang did. It's way too... Friday morning session in the books at the Tory Lanez trial. Prosecutors played the recording from their interview with Kelsey back in September 2022. A lot of the jurors had heard a lot of that stuff before, but now they heard it on audio played on the courtroom speaker. Kelsey told the story. She gave a lot of details. You know, when you do a direct examination, you maybe don't go over all the details. When you sit down with police and they do your initial interview, they go over every single detail, and every single detail is on the recording. We got a lot of gossipy details, including that Odell Beckham Jr. was there at the party that night. Kylie Jenner at the front had up to 6 security guards checking people. Let's get to the key part of the recording, and that's where Kelsey implicates Tory. And
now, what brings me to what I said earlier. Tory took his gun off of him before going into Kylie's house. Because Kylie had, what'd he say, 6 security guards checking people. For what? Firearms? Knives, maybe? Probably didn't give a fuck about if they had weed or anything with them. But firearms and knives, probably, and, you know, billy clubs or whatever the fuck. They couldn't bring them into her house. But as far as like weed goes or pills, as long as you do it outside, because my child has to sleep in this house. So that brings me to that. Like, Tory took the gun off and put it on the back seat, and then, you know, because he probably had to go to the back seat for shit any fucking way. Probably had to get his, you know, his man purse and you know, all the other accessories these little boys wear these days. So, you know what I mean? It that lets me know he probably had the gun in his man purse. Let's keep going.
Shooting, and also make statements about Tory putting out the idea that Kelsey denies taking any money, but she did acknowledge during the recorded testimony that statements were made to her that she could be paid. This was way back in 2020. As to the shooting, Kelsey said what prosecutors told the jury that she had told them before, which is that Tory was the shooter. They both got out of the car. Tory hopped into the front seat. He pulled a gun. He shot. The number one thing. The highlight of my day today, they established that there's no DNA tying Tory to the gun. They asked the expert, hey, if somebody shoots a gun 5 times, would you expect to find that person's DNA? The expert said, yeah, not found here. The highlight of my week, easily, Kelsey taking the 5th and then testifying that I can't testify truthfully because I don't want to incriminate myself.
Now, what did I say earlier when I read what the 5th Amendment says? Public safety. Who would she be, you know, afraid of by testifying? Well, she lives in Houston, where Meg goes to school at. Maybe it's going to be niggas from either 5th Ward, 3rd Ward. Who knows? So she ain't gonna say shit, so nobody comes and tries to kill her for saying any fucking thing. Hell, for all we know, Jay-Z probably got his goons involved and told Kelsey, don't say shit, or, you know, because, you know, Meg's signed to Rock Nation, which is her management group, which is ran by Jay-Z. And Kanye said, before he started saying things that he's saying now, is when he was on that stage, don't send your goons after me, bro. So who's to say that Jay-Z probably didn't say anything like, yo, don't testify, you know, we'll give you $50,000 and a Mercedes. So, you know, don't say anything, just plead the 5th. Make sure you're within your rights and everything will be cool. Your Mercedes and your $50,000 will be waiting for you at your house. Cool? All right, cool.
Let's come to a close. We heard the rest of Kelsey Harris's recorded interview with the district attorney and their investigator. Let me catch you up on everything that went on. 2 ways you can look at this recording. 1, it's her honest account of what happened. She sounds confident. She sounds poised. She's telling you every single thing in sequence. 2, you can look at it as somebody who's giving rehearsed statements to police because she's guilty of crimes and doesn't want to tell the truth, and she's got her lawyers on the line and 2.5 years to prepare, so she spins a nice little story that makes her and Meg look good. I don't know. You be the judge. In her recorded testimony, she tells the whole story of what happened. We go to this gathering at Kylie Jenner's house. Apparently, when you go to a gathering at Kylie Jenner's house, it can be pretty cool. There's lots of security, as many as 6 when you pull up. OBJ is there. It's like a hotel. You get your own room to check into. Quite fan. The whole issue of Kylie and Tory and Meg getting jealous and them trying to pull Meg out, and then they leave, and then they come back because Meg said she forgot a slipper, and then Kylie kicks them out. And now we're in the car. Tory's saying stuff like, hey, Meg, why don't you tell your friend what's so funny, referring to the fact that Meg backdoored Kelsey by hooking up with Tory. And then they're like getting back at him like, yo, whatever, you this, you're that. She's making fun of his career. You're only relevant because you were on a Jack Harlow feature. He's popping shit like, yo, I'm from Canada. Car. They both get out of the car. She sees Tory hop from the back to the front. He's got a gun and he points it and he shoots at Megan. That's the recorded statement. Does that add up and mesh with everything else? Well, how did the jewelry fall? How did the necklace get on the floor? She says, well, that's Tory physically assaulting me, and that's how all that happened. As far as her and Meg getting into an altercation, no mention to the police on the recorded interview. Was there a police officer or a detective from the LAPD at that interview treating it like she might be a suspect or hostile? Absolutely not. If you ask me, I don't think Tory was the only aggressor putting hands on people. That's what I get if you ask me when you look at the very different stories that everybody's telling and the part that the 2 females don't want to talk about. Remember the physical statures of the people involved. The idea that only men can physically assault women is a common misconception and not at all accurate. That's the shooting. Then they all get back in the car. They're driving. Kelsey texts my security. She texts the security. That's the text. Tory shot Meg. 911. Is that a real text? Is that a cover? And then the rest was all of the aftermath, that when they get released, that there were indications made to her from Tory's team that they would invest in her business or that they'd be willing to talk to her about giving her money. Whether any of that was a bribe or was taken, Kelsey denied. And then what happened afterwards in terms of her communications with other people post the incident. She said that she basically never has talked to Meg. They had one conversation. Meg and her team were lying to her and saying that, hey, I'm really badly injured. I'm going to be out of commission for probably at least a year. There's nothing for you to do here. You need to get out of LA. And they basically shoot her away and sent her on to Houston, and she hasn't heard from her since. The recording ends with the prosecutors asking that, hey, are you just saying all this to get back into Meg's good graces? And she says, no, I'm saying all this to relieve myself of the burden of this. I just want to move on from it. On cross-examination, the defense highlighted a couple key facts about this interview. 1, there was no police presence, nobody investigating or asking Kelsey hard questions. 2, there was no grant of immunity to Kelsey at that time. So if she did have stuff to hide her own criminality, she would not have been immune from making statements, and so she had an incentive to lie. 3, they had asked her during the interview about certain text messages that might be relevant to the investigation, but there was no follow-up. They never went back and said, hey, can we get those text messages? And 4, the idea that her lawyers were on the line and that this is rehearsed, prepared testimony that she had a lot of time to get ready for and give. Like I said, ultimately, what do you make of that recording? Well, you're going to listen to all the evidence in this trial. Trial continues next week, and then you're going to make your decision on who's lying, who's telling the truth. How did those bullet fragments get into Meg Thee Stallion's foot? And is Tory Lanez guilty or not guilty? Find out all that and more next week for exclusive, additional, interesting tidbits. Check out the subscription here on the main page. You will see posts about the DNA expert and the ballistics expert who testified today. But you're going to have to wait for that because I got to get some dinner.
So, with that, you have everything that we need now, because the entire case is a bunch of shit. Like, we got people lying, we got people pleading the fifth, we got people not knowing how, like, the chain of events of what caused shit. Like, this is probably a botched trial from the beginning. because Meg already lied. Well, Meg, Kelsey, and Tory, if Tory was able to say anything, they all lied to the police. That's number one. They all lied to police. They all gave false statements, and now we're supposed to sit here and, which this is what the internet's is saying, we should believe all women. But why are we believing all women if even the woman in question can't even tell the truth? Like, what the fuck's going on right now? Like this is weird. Like, this is weird as shit. And Tory probably is going to get off. Like, this is what it looks like. Like, Tory's probably going to get off from all of his crimes, if he committed any of those crimes. He's probably, and this is to say, if he doesn't, or not him, sorry, but if the state of California doesn't put this as a retrial, that means that they'll have to start all over, collect more evidence, can't use the evidence of which was given. They'll have to go about it with a whole nother angle of how to, do it. But this is, to me, this is already a botched trial, and it. Fuck, I don't know. If you would like to come up here and speak to me, if you are here, you can hit that link that is pinned right there in the live chat. It's at the top of the live chat in the blue. I want you to hit that on the live chat. Then I want you to hit the link that is posted in there and come on up and talk to me. Just have to follow these 3 rules. Excuse me, got to be on camera at all times. If you don't want to be on camera, that is fine. There's a private chat back here to let me know what you would like to do. Please use your name that is over top of your screen that's here on the backstage. Let me know if you do or if you don't. Don't make it a conversation. Just let me know if you do or if you don't. And please, if you could, silence all background noise. All right, before I bring you up here. And with that, if I get anyone within the next 2 minutes, I say I'll bring you up. We can talk about any of the topics that you want to talk about, but we'll probably talk about this Meg thing since it's still going and it's the hottest thing right now. But if not, that's fine, because But 5 minutes, everybody, 5 minutes. Wait a minute. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and that's all I'm giving you guys. 2 minutes. Get your butts on up here. Alright, well, seems like nobody wants to come up. That is fine. You don't have to. So, with that being said, let me hit this theme music and we gonna get on out of here. Alright? So, everybody, please pay attention to what I'm about to tell you because it is important. Number one, please, if you could, as I'm saying this, please pay attention to the scrolling ticker. It has all of my information there. Anything that you would like to suggest to me, recommend, such as a story or something, as far as a show or something, is fine. Social medias are there as well. So have at it. Every Friday I do a game show called Marcus Speaks Play. Marcus Speaks Play comes on at Fridays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Right now I am playing God of War Ragnarok. I'm also doing a giveaway. I'm giving away two. Xbox Ultimate Game Passes. They are good for a month, but the code is good for a year. All right. So I hope you guys get in on that. Go to my last stream video last night. It'll let you know all of the details. I also set the details if you want to rewind this video. So when I was doing my promotions, to get those details, you can do that as well. And also Saturdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do this here podcast, Marcus Speaks Live. So tune in every weekend for some hot takes, some cool takes, some cool games, stuff like that. I'll give it to you all right? Also, if you could, go and subscribe to both of my YouTube channels. If you go to either YouTube channel that is in, which has the links of those to as far as my, well, not as far, but as well as my social medias, hit all of those links that's down there. I also have all my links linked there as well that you can hit, and it'll show you everywhere where I'm at. All right, so hit those links, follow me, subscribe to me, and let's do all that other good stuff. So, with every show, if you would like to come up and talk to me, you can. We'll talk about the topics that I present. You just have to do 3 things for me. I went over this. You must be on camera at all times. If you don't want to be on camera for the public, that is fine. There's a question back here for you to answer. Don't make a conversation. And if you could, please silence all background noise. All right. Also, with my channels, you can subscribe to me from either channel. So if you go to Marcus Speaks, there is a way that you can go and subscribe to Marcus Speaks Play. All you gotta do is scroll down to see Marcus Speaks Play, and vice versa with Marcus Speaks Play's channel. All right. So if you could do me this one favor, like this video, subscribe if you're new here, and share this video to your respective social medias. All right. So with that being said, people, I want to leave you with this one thing. One thing that I leave you with all of my podcasts. Please focus on getting the money, because you know money makes the world go round. All right. Also, drink more water for health purposes, because you're healthy, you're happy. Also, mind your own business. Stay out of people's business, and you'll be saner, because if you get into people's business and you want to start knowing shit about what other people are doing, you go insane. Just let you know that. And also, one thing I'd like to leave you with is this. Please do your own research. I've been Marcus. This has been Marcus Speaks. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll check you guys out next Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out.